Hello and welcome back to Blackfeather Guild. So we're going to do our first sort of full session of Animus Absentis. When we left off last week, the crew had kind of figured out a little bit about their setting. All of the crew had lost any memory of their past selves, their identity, even their names, but they all had their basic skill sets and things like that. So they're trying to figure out, where the heck are we? Who the heck are all of you? What's going on? And they kind of figured out that their past selves might have been bad guys, um, and they set something into motion that might have just sort of or injected them into a interstellar conflict. So we're going to find out what happens with all of that and how they get out of it. Before we do jump into all of that, though, and we introduce the cast, I did want to take a quick second to talk about viewer actions. So there's a number of ways that you can actually interact with the show and participate in the story from the audience. One of the easiest ways to do so is through the game tweet. So for every 10 interactions on that, that's likes, retweets, and comments, a D4 goes to the cast and a D4 goes to the DM. Goes into our respective dice pools that we'll have. It's a really easy way to boost something over a certain DC if you're just a couple points short. They really do come in quite handy. Aside from that, you can also do guild coins. You can see some of that right over here. Mostly used for plot points. There's a few other things that you can do with them. But the plot points really do allow you to participate quite a bit. So for one plot point, you can do an inconsequential plot effect, such as renaming a location or an NPC, or just sort of throwing something very commonplace or mundane into the scene. Just a very minor thing. And then all the way up to 4 plot points, which is a major plot effect, which can be a curse or a boon to the cast or a specific character. Either giving them something that they will critically need in an important moment, or denying them something that they critically need in an important moment if you're feeling particularly mean. There's a full explanation of what all you can do with all of that, though, in the panels down below, or you can click the rainbow-colored icon right below your Twitch chat box and see each individual guild coin item there with a full description. I should note on that, though, the DM does have final say on what gets added in via the plot points. The same goes for the complication, which I'll talk about in a moment. But we do try to stick as close as possible to what you suggest. There just might be some edits to make it fit a little bit better with what's going to happen in the story. Yeah, that's guild coins. And then I mentioned complication, which is under our monetary donations. So if you do want to help by donating monetarily, help keep the lights on, so to speak, and all that, there's a number of things that you can do there as well. If you notice this little chart over here, there's a lot of different buffs that you can essentially buy with that. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory, but some of them might not be, so I'll give a brief description. But all of these fall under direct donations via coffee.com/raven, raven.rocks, as you can see on the chart there. Subscriptions and bits apply as well. And then finally, Patreon. So our Bard tier patrons and higher, that's the $15 a month tier or higher, basically get that full amount in credits to go towards viewer actions each month, and they can be redeemed at any point. So a lot of different ways you can do that. So D4, D6, pretty self-explanatory. The switch basically makes a character, or a player rather, have to change the action word that they were about to do. So to give you a classic example, if you've got a bard in classic D&D and they're going, I'm going to seduce the dragon. It's a cliche that a lot of DMs get tired of. So if the DM had a switch, for example, they could throw that out there and say, you have to do something else to the dragon. And it can't be a direct synonym of seduce. So they couldn't cop out by going, okay, I flirt with the dragon. It has to be something completely different. So it's a fun way for not only the DM, but players to nudge the story in different directions. They work on DM actions and player actions alike. And the reroll and advantage, basically you roll twice and take the better of the 2 results. The only difference between the two is the advantage has to be used before the roll, and a reroll can happen after the fact. So if you're pretty sure you've got this in the bag and you don't want to use an advantage, and you roll and then you're like, oh no, I got a natural 1. I should have used an advantage. Well, if you have a reroll, you can still do that essentially. The complication is much like the plot points, except you get full reign, 1 to 3 sentences, whatever you want to do to the scene, you can do. Again, the DM can edit it a little bit. So if you're like, I kill the big bad evil guy, and one of the complications like that, we'll probably edit that out, make it something else. So you can't completely throw off the game. But any kind of suggestion within reason, we'll definitely throw in for you. Swap 2 players for 5 minutes means that they will swap characters, and that includes the DM. So you could, for example, in this game, have me playing one of the characters and one of the cast members being the DM for 5 minutes. It's a really fun thing, and it's always amusing to see all of us trying to perfectly imitate the characters that other people usually play. And then finally, the one up for this particular system, if a character would drop down to 0 hit points or otherwise die, rather than doing that, they will come to 1 hit point. So they're still in danger, but it does give them an extra chance to try to survive. So if you do have a particular character that you really want to see live, that can be a great way to help ensure that happens. I think that's about it for all of that. So we're going to go meet the cast and then jump into the story of, what do we name the episode today? Sorry, I just draw a blank. Animus, Absentis. Are We the Baddies? That's the title for today. So let's meet the cast. Hello, everyone. We're going to introduce everybody. We're going to start with our normal top left. So, Jay, tell us a little bit about Sparky and yourself.
So Sparky woke up in one of the crowd pods, much like any of the other crew members. Sparky, for all they remember, has the skills to cook and also used to be the communications officer on board. That's about as much as they know or are willing to say for the most part. But they're pretty sure Sparky wasn't their name to start out with. As for me, I am Jay. I am a GM here on Blackfeather as well as other various places, and I do occasionally show up in one-shots. For the most part, though, you can find me here on Saturdays and Tuesdays.
Fantastic. Next, we've got Vanessa. Tell us a little bit about Little Mouse and yourself.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm primarily a traditional artist. I work in watercolors and pencil sketch. But yeah, I play Annalise, or Little Mouse as she goes by now. And she's not quite sure. She doesn't really have any real idea of what's going on, except for the fact that now that they've found themselves in this situation with lots of guns, she's she's a spunky character. She's got pink hair, and as we found out while talking among the cast members, she's also the tallest of the party, which is really weird considering she's Little Mouse. So yeah,
it's pretty great. Next, we've got Alex. Tell us a little bit about Seattle and yourself, or Guy.
Hello, my name is Seattle. Actually, no. So I'm Alex. I'm playing Guy, who's currently been named Seattle because I did not realize that was the sign from Seattle Space Needle, which is the best way to end up with a name for a character. Guy has no fucking idea what's going on. Seattle has no idea what's going on. Thinks that they are getting themselves far too involved in things that aren't really their business and have made their business a lot worse and probably going to get themselves all killed by being sentimental fools. Also, apparently he knows how to fix shit, namely the ship.
Perfect.
Also, he speaks only in sign language, so that's been fun.
Yeah. Also, we had, speaking of Patreon a moment ago, we had some patron rewards redeemed, so the cast just got a reroll. Thanks, Jacques, for that. Speaking of Jacques, tell us a little bit about the Doctor and yourself.
The Doctor is calm and collected for the most part. And is trying to figure out what their specialty is. There's a big hint that they have psychological records of the crew that are in code that they don't remember the cipher to. So there's that.
It's always good when you find notes you left for yourself and don't remember what they mean. Next, we've got Lisa with Android. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your character.
Well, I'm just me. I'm here. Hi. And as for the android, she is very courteous, very meek, and somehow got elected as to acting captain. And whatever. She's doing the best she can, and she's trying to recover memory bank items and everything, but things seem to be either under severe lockdown or just gone completely. So it's fine.
Fantastic. Yeah. Perfect. And then when we left off from last week, you all had given, I believe it was half of the gun shipment that you were given as payment to the miners on the mining colony for. Let me pull out my notes here because I am blanking on names.
Were they owned by Bosco?
No, that's water.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. What was it? I think it was Visco.
That does sound right.
I have way too many scribbles. Speaking of notes without being able to decipher them.
Visco, a subsidiary of Bosco.
There it is. Yeah, Visco was the name of the big giant corporation that owned the mining colony. And that's the one that the miners are trying to essentially break away from. And you did send something to TONI Consortium, or Tony Consortium, about Visco's underhanded dealings. It's probably going to be a while before that comes back around of any use, but it's still something that could prove beneficial in the future. So you'd given half the guns that you got from Visco to the miners, and the miners had gone on with that to threaten Visco and their families, and basically are literally up in arms, whereas the job that you were supposed to do, which it kind of took you just until now to figure out exactly, was to get the miners to not rebel. So very much so made the situation worse rather than better. And your handler, whose name I'm drawing a blank on, I will have to go back and look it up. We'll call him... Oh, no, it was Tolan.
Tolan.
That was his name, Tolan. So Tolan called you up, and where we ended last session was Tolan yelling at you on the video call, going, "The hell did you guys say? I just got called from Visco. They said the miners are threatening them, and they're threatening to kill their families? What did you do?" And that's where we're starting off, with everybody on the bridge, I think. So what do you do?
Well, it appears we stepped in it. Whatever it is. I don't think we were ready for this conflict.
Captain, do you have anything to say on this matter?
I do not.
Has anybody muted the call, or are you all talking amongst
Go
yourselves?
ahead and just as soon as Android's like, yeah, we don't have anything to say. I'm like, press the mute button.
Okay. So you see Tolan on the other side just like motioning and yelling,
Mm-hmm.
clearly going, "Why am I muted?" He just kind of throws his hand up. He's just pacing around his office, waiting for you to get back on the call.
Anyone? Any ideas? Oh, I'm sorry, Seattle. Hang on. Sorry. Yeah. Like grab a clipboard. Do we even know why we had guns?
We could try discourse with the miners.
We definitely did that. I don't know that they have any. I mean, they already have the guns that they wanted.
You all do have half of the guns still.
Mm-hmm.
So on text, maybe they decided to go after their families because we gave them guns.
Yes. So there's that. Listen, I can't be the only one to say anything on this. I'm the comms of it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm the cook. Just a
Perhaps
cook.
we should be honest about our states of our memories. We did not know what we had to do.
I don't hate it. Anyone else have a better idea?
Is there a reason we are keeping this secret?
Because it's bad. We don't know why we lost our memories, and we're probably going to get asked why.
We do not know.
You can see Tolan on just like frantically waving his arms back and forth in front of the camera.
Like a one. Like,
Everybody's ignoring the fact that I am writing out in text. He's going and sitting in front of it and waves at Dolan.
Okay.
And starts explaining
Seattle.
in sign language.
Yes,
Just
Seattle.
kinda
Evens or odds, Seattle?
Odds.
Hey, good job.
ooh.
He happens to know sign language.
Shit's gone weird.
So he's starting to sign back at you, and I personally don't know how to convey angry yelling via sign language, but that is what Tolan is doing.
Yeah, it's facial expressions and body language.
It's evolved a bit over the years. Yeah. They might have words that embody emotions.
He might be actually yelling, but he's still on mute.
Yeah. So he's signing back and forth with you. So what does Seattle say?
Right. So, because I don't have enough knowledge of sign language to do this by hand yet.
But we'll presume you're doing it.
I'm gonna basically convey what. So, Seattle's like, we don't actually know who the fuck you are.
He's signing back frantically, going,
like,
"What do you mean you don't know who the fuck I am?"
We have no memories beyond waking up from cryo sleep to asteroid damage.
I'm really not in the mood for.
Do I
Pranks.
look
I'll hit on
like,
mute
like?
and go, he's telling the truth.
Do I look like I am joking? I don't feel like I'm a person who jokes like this.
No, that's true. You're not. So, God's help me. If this is a joke, I may have to murder you all.
I am incapable of joking.
That's right.
Oh, and by the way, the android is our captain now.
Yeah. Also, the android doesn't remember anything.
What?
Yep. None of us do.
That's literally the android can't not remember things.
My memory banks have been wiped.
Okay. All right. Well, have you told anyone else this?
No.
No.
Good. Anybody else finds out, then you all are probably going to attract a lot of unsavory types that want to attack you while you're vulnerable.
So
Where are
suffice it-
you? We can get to you.
No, that's not how this works.
Where are you?
I remain in undisclosed locations, handle all the business dealings.
Perfect. Good place for us to hide out until we figure this out. Where are you?
This is my hiding spot. Go find your own.
Tolan.
Android. Captain, where is
Yes.
his hiding spot?
You actually don't know. It's he's gone through great lengths to make sure nobody ever knows where his office is located. He basically deals with interested parties looking to hire mercenaries, and then passes those jobs on to you. So he acts as your handler, go-between. You don't currently have a way to track it.
I'm afraid he's using a VPN.
Good luck, I'm behind 7 space firewalls.
Can you hack it?
Not at this time, no.
Tolan,
Yeah, not even a nat 20 would do it.
Tolan,
at this
can you
level.
tell us who we were?
You know, we didn't really go through a whole lot of social events. I didn't have you over for cocktail parties every weekend.
But you hired us.
Yes.
Is there a
Your
ship
ship is-
roster?
Your ship is called LaGrange. All I know is you always told me your name was Blister, and he starts listing off everyone's names.
Her name's Blister.
But with the exception of Gabrielle, he calls you Android.
Huh.
And he just looks at you all and goes, "So, I mean, that was about it. I mean, Blister,
and
you're always
then-
the one I
and
talk to."
By the way, Guy corrects. Captain Android.
Yeah. She is the
Androids can't be captains.
Not on your
made
ship.
We made her
Like,
captain.
like legally, in the galaxy, they can't be captains.
We are
Do you-
progressive
does it-
here.
You hired us to threaten people illegally.
Yeah.
That's
I
what.
think
That's beside
you're
the
on
point.
the back foot there, Tolan.
I'm not the one who just started an interstellar incident between Vizco and a mining company, something that should have been a very simple job.
That wasn't me.
Annie
Yeah,
takes
literally.
the point. Walk
To
up
the
to
two of them that did this.
Go ahead, Vanessa.
Annie walks up to the screen with everybody else, and she just kind of looks at Tola and she goes, "Listen, the long and the short of it, is there any information that you can provide to us that's going to help in the situation right at this moment?"
Yes. I will be happy to give you some of that information. If you could promise me right now that you will handle this, because I have some very pissed off people at Vizco, and while they're more pissed off at you, I'm the handler. I'm the one they complain to, and they tend to complain violently.
What
So,
about the miners whose families are being threatened?
who cares about the miners?
We
I
do.
do.
When did you all grow consciences?
The moment we
I did
lost our
not.
memories, apparently.
Listen,
Oh,
now's not
God.
the time to debate this. You can either give us the information or we're going to handle it ourselves. So, which one would be preferable to you?
All right, look. I will tell you what I can. You're the crew of the Lagrange, or Lagrange, depends on which one of you I talk to. You're basically known as the baddest, toughest mercenaries in the solar system, or galaxy, or whatever you want to call it. At the moment, I'm surprised too, but that's your reputation. Blister, you're the one I always talk to. You seem to be the one in charge. So,
Yeah, okay. Pull the other one.
don't know what to tell you. You're my main contact. You seem to be calling the shots. So, Blister, or whatever you're going by now,
It's Sparky.
Sparky, great. Sparky, fix it. You just got to get the miners to stop threatening Vizco. Try to mend fences with the corporation, or
Can't mend
you're gonna be a target.
guns.
What about guns?
So you can't mend fences with guns.
This is the kind you can by making the miners stand down. Or, worst case scenario, you go kill them.
All right. Is there anything else you can offer us at this time?
You're doing a job for me. This is, I think you're confused on the direction of this transaction.
Annie reaches over and ends the call.
Now, I have a
Like
question.
2 seconds later, there's like incoming call.
I'm just gonna mute.
Nobody touch it.
I'm just gonna mute the voice and then
Yeah. Do we know where the families are that are being threatened?
like, who's Viscos or the miners?
Excuse me.
The
You know where all the miners are.
Yeah.
The
do we know where
Visco families. You get the sense that it was more of a
Metaphorical.
metaphorical threat. Like, you know, we'll go after you and your families. Not that they actually knew where the families were to target them.
Okay.
Up until
Well,
today,
then-
they only had like really dinky guns.
Well, then that is an empty threat.
Annie's just like massaging her temples.
Yeah. See, I still think you're the captain.
Mm.
She just sighs and says, okay, we'll deal with that later. But right now, I think we should probably go back down to the surface and maybe try and get a hold of this situation somehow. I mean, I don't think we can just leave
No.
at this point.
No.
So maybe we
I
should just go
don't-
back to the surface.
Yeah, I don't think they have the leverage that they think they do over the
I don't,
miners.
I don't even know if we gave them the rest of the guns, they'd have the right leverage.
Yeah, the miners have the leverage in this situation.
No, not really.
No.
They think they do, but like, I mean, Visco sounds big.
Android, you'd probably have some information on this. That Visco is known for being particularly brutal in their business dealings, and would not hesitate to effectively come in force and under the guise of reclaiming their property. In which case, they'd, in the current sort of corrupt legal system of the galaxy, they'd have full authority to go in there and just kill anybody that resisted.
Thanks.
Visco has a reputation for being particularly violent with uprisings. They're extremely powerful. This is not an unprecedented event.
Hmm.
If anything, if these miners keep making these threats, they're going to simply attract attention to themselves to be eradicated.
Well,
What if the miners weren't here when they showed up?
that is where I was going?
You want to take a whole planet's worth of miners with us on our ship?
We do not have capacity for that.
Not necessarily on our ship. It's just it's a thought.
This guy's text comes up. I mean, I didn't want to give them the guns, but I don't want them killed. So we have to convince the miners into negotiations with Visco.
Is there going to be a negotiation?
Probably not.
could
Unless
try.
they instigate it.
Hmm.
Visco at this point is very unlikely to be negotiating with anybody.
So we either hope that we can somehow negotiate a trade or a ceasefire, or we run, with neither of which I really like.
Actually, I should do a text-to-voice thing.
Hmm.
We could alternatively set up a situation in which they have a very limited space in which they can come in, and we just shoot them as they come in. The force
Bottleneck
they're
them.
coming in with.
So there's some text that comes in. It's either that or Visco kills them all. The miners won't leave their homes.
I mean, if we have the right strategy, we can beat them.
But for how long? Because like I don't feel like Bizco is the kind of small business. I feel like
They're one of the largest in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Points to Sparky. And I'm going back to text.
Okay.
Text straight to Sparky. You did send out that bit info blast, correct? That I told you to.
Yeah. That was
What?
just so I know. That was the info blast to the other corporation.
we wouldn't have to kill the team that they sent in. We could just incapacitate them and use them as leverage.
There's still an incoming call, by the way. Just
Yep.
let you know that's still going
It's still
on.
going on.
He
All
leans
right.
over, picks it up, and then ends it again.
Just picks up the receiver, puts it down.
It starts right up again. It's basically just going to keep going.
All right.
How much do you think Bisco
you-
values their,
you're totally
their
free to ignore
strike
it.
teams?
They
Okay.
do not.
But that probably means they have a lot of them.
Exactly.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I can barely like shoot a water pistol. I think.
Pulls out knife. Puts knife away.
Right. So let me know when you take down their whole ship with the knife.
Guys, like, I plainly do not think we can take on Bisco. You idiot.
There's no need to not call me names.
They clearly think that we
Sparky.
have the ability and we have a reputation.
Do you really think we could lie our way out of that? I mean, I like it. I just don't know how far it's gonna go.
Even if we
Our
even
best
if we
plan
forget,
is to find the way for the miners to go into negotiations with Bisco so they don't end up all dead. Because at this point, it's our fault that they're all dead.
Mm,
You're not
and even if we don't remember our training, we are still trained. There's muscle memory.
You do raise a good point.
That's under the assumption that that comes back to us. We could very well get into the middle of the situation and just completely blank and not remember anything.
Or
True.
Bisco could just drop bombs on the planet.
That's also true. I had not
I
considered
don't think
that.
they do that because this is a big cash flow for them. There's a lot of ore in that place. Why else would they have some miners working on it? I don't think that they would be willing to give up an entire planet's worth just to bomb a few miners.
So we
Would,
make it. So we find a way to make it more profitable for Bisco to work with the miners.
How though?
Would anyone
Go ahead.
like to make an education check?
I would
on,
love to make an education check.
Yes.
to
I
see
would
what
as
you
well.
know of corporate tactics.
Okay.
Sure.
I see it's
Oh.
gonna be one of those days.
Okay, so a 10, a 15, a 17. So Jacques and Gabrielle, Android, and Guy, the three of
Wait,
you.
I think I have. Hold on. I have learned.
Oh, you
Which is
can
plus 5?
re-roll education
Oh,
checks.
reroll. Nice.
I got.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Same exact roll.
Nice.
So, yeah, the three of you all have about the same amount of information. So Guy, Gabrielle, and Jacques. Or Seattle, Android, and the Doctor, if you prefer. And that is that corporations can... they have a number of ways of dealing with situations like this. It's kind of why these situations don't come up that often. Because usually it's resolved before miners can get their hands on guns. So they could send in a strike team, they could send in surgical strike missiles, they would not have to destroy their resources, or at least the collateral damage would be minimal in order to take back the planet. They basically have their own private military.
So
How much do
Visco
they pay
has
the
a habit.
military?
Visco has a habit of, I believe the term is throwing people at it.
And how many strike teams do you think that it will take?
I'll give you this one. It would probably only take them one. Maybe two if you intervened.
Yikes. Okay, we still also don't know what that weird cordoned off box in the hangar is. You know, the one with the door?
Correct.
There is a text to voice that pops up. Okay, then. We get them to send a negotiator.
For what? They don't have to negotiate.
Those miners are probably quite replaceable to them as well.
Also,
You can always try. If you want to try to negotiate with Visco, that's something you can certainly attempt. And it wouldn't necessarily be an automatic, nope, no chance in hell. Like, you could try.
I think at
it
this
would
point,
be difficult, but you could.
Sparky's more worried that as soon as we leave, they'll go back on the deal. This seems like they could easily just say, "Oh yeah, sure, we'll do that," and then as soon as we're gone, they just wipe it off. Find a way to make it cheaper.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yes, it would be a very expensive ordeal to replace every single miner on the planet,
True.
as well as a strike team.
As well as a strike
If
team.
we take out the strike team, which we don't necessarily have to kill them. We
No, but
we
just
incapacitate them.
Pretend, yeah. Okay, what's everyone good at? Or what do you remember being good at?
So this is a good time to have everyone. Let's do recall. What is everyone's recall skill?
Where are you? I
8.
don't see recall. Where are you?
That should be at the top of your
That's
skills.
probably why.
7.
6.
Okay. 6, 7. Was that an 8? V. Vanessa.
Sorry, my Zoom froze. It's an 8 for me.
No worries. So 8, and then Jacques.
6.
6, and then Lisa. What's your recall?
I have mine like a steel trap, and I also my recall. Am I rolling recall?
No, it's a passive skill.
Oh, 9.
9. Okay. So let's start with Guy. Yeah, you kind of already figured it out. You're good at fixing things. It was pretty clear you're definitely the ship's engineer. That is what you're good at, is solving engineering problems. Sparky, you're starting to get the sense, especially with what Tolan told you, it's sort of like a tiny little thing in the back of your mind that's starting to be a little bit clearer of, I'm good at doing a lot of different things, probably because I had to do a lot of different things, because I might actually be the captain.
Just gotta hide that little bit away. Put that in a bin.
Andy, you recall your skill with communications and what were the other? You and I talked about this off stream a little bit. What were the other things that they were good at?
Annie, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. What did we talk about? Her ability with like different languages.
Languages. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, Annie starts to remember that she's good with languages and talking and I think it's probably like public relations type stuff, if that sounds right.
Yeah.
Jacques, you remember that you know how to do medical things, and it kind of already figured it out that you're the ship's doctor. You don't get a whole lot of new information, but that just seems to be confirmed for you. And then for Gabrielle, the android, what things is your character good at?
Mostly just being able to fulfill whatever task is presented to her. And she doesn't know it yet, but killing machine.
Okay. With a 9 in recall, I'm going to say that you start to remember a little bit about not so much why you have blades or that you are a killing machine necessarily, but you start to recognize some subroutines on how to use them.
Gotcha.
And you start to get the sense of, like, I could probably mess somebody up if I needed to.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, you all recall some of those things. There's still an incoming call, by the way.
Yeah.
Just that's not a subtle hint of, like, you should really take this. It's just letting you know it's there.
Mhm. Okay. So how are we going to convince Visco that we can, like, negotiate on the miner's behalf, or however we want to roll with that?
Android, did we get any response back about the information that we did send off to their rival company?
Did we?
You've probably got back one of those canned, like, thanks for your message. We'll be sure to pass this on to the right department.
Our business hours are 3 to 5.
I is going to
Yeah.
take a quick look at who's calling them back, if it's the same person.
We received.
It's still Tolan.
We simply received an automated response. Nothing beyond that.
Isco knows who they hired, and they know we are capable. They know our reputation.
Guy picks up the call, and I'm redeeming Buster Rhyme.
Whoop!
All right.
When
Glad you did
Guy
that.
You set a
picks up the
timer.
call, Annie does come back to the screen and she says, "Okay, listen. Is there any way that you can put us back into contact with Visco?"
Look, I can't help you with Visco via direct communication, because that's just a big no, and they only know you by reputation. They're not really going to talk to you, because, well, to put it mildly, we're kind of screwed.
I have the feeling that it might take them some time and resources and money to deal with this situation. Perhaps you could just, do your thing, spin it so that if they decide to talk to us, maybe they can avoid all that mess.
Look, I appreciate your faith in my skills. But as far as the cost of everything, this is like small bills. They're not really going to care about the money per se. More about what this is going to do to their branding and reputation some other day.
Perfect. So ride that wave and get back to us. And she reaches over and ends the call again.
I can't think of how to rhyme that. Never
That's
mind.
fair.
Annie turns to them and kind of says, like, listen, I think our best way through this is to get in contact with the other company, because you know what, at the end of the day, if we can negotiate on the miners' behalf with a new company, that takes the fight out of the miners' hands, because then it's not the miners that are fighting for themselves. It's the fact that now this new company is on the scene and they're going to have to fight for their own materials and their own setup. So I think if we can really push for contact with Visco and try to maybe get a contact through this other company, I think that's probably our best route to go. Because then the miners don't have to fight for themselves at all.
There is a text that says, I like that idea. We can use Tolan for that.
Annie looks over and gives Seattle finger guns.
And who's gonna convince Tolan about that?
Listen, Tolan's gonna do whatever Tolan has to do to save his own ass.
Fair. How are we gonna do this?
Plaster on a smile there, Sparky boy. We've got to do it.
Okay.
Annie like rubs her hands over her face again, and she's like, "Listen, we're pretty much up shit creek without a paddle right at this moment. I know that you guys are probably just as anxious about the whole thing as I am, but listen, the long and the short of it is, right now we don't have a lot of options, and we have to explore thoroughly through the things that we do know that we have on hand. Because if we sit here and talk about what ifs all day, we're still going to be in the same position at the end of the day. It's not going to help the miners. People are going to get killed. We started this shit. Now we have to figure a way to patch it up. And the only way we're going to do that is by putting our heads together, stop talking about what ifs, and see what can actually be done."
You are so the captain.
There's another
Yeah.
text voice that comes up. I don't. Apparently, you're the captain.
And he's just like, "That's not the point right now." we need to talk to people. We need to figure out a way to get in contact. So
Okay,
until
do we have a contact at Visco? Do we have anyone we could talk to there?
my concern is less with a contact at Visco and more with a contact with their rival business. Is there a name for that? Did we talk about their name?
The Tony Consortium?
So maybe, I know we still have this this automated message, but Android, is there any back channels that you can go through? Is there any information that you can get from maybe other contacts? Do you even remember any other contacts? Is there any way that we can kind of circumvent going straight through them and take a back route?
There's another text that pops up, or voice from text that pops up. We have Tolan RN. We get him to contact Tony.
Do I have any way of doing what she suggested?
What was the suggestion again?
Basically,
Kind of
go
like-
in the back to
Yeah.
get in contact with, like, directly in contact with the Tony
Do you know
Consortium.
the guy that knows the guy, basically?
You broke up. What was that last part?
I said, do we know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy?
Tolan is the only guy that you know that knows a guy at the moment.
Perfect. All right.
Thanks.
Well, then I suppose we have to wait until Tolan gets back to us.
Well, there is an incoming call at this time.
I was gonna say you just hung up on Tolan.
I'm just gonna kind of so let's respond.
Do we know what they hired us to do yet?
Not
Specifically.
really.
Yes.
Kinda. We still don't know why we got guns, like a whole box of
So-
guns.
So, Spark, you said you answered the call?
Yep.
So, Tolan's seriously, you really need to stop hanging up on me.
You need to
I
do
am-
something.
I am literally your only friend in the world or the galaxy right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and friends help each other.
So,
Yes. Can you tell us what we were hired to do?
I
Specifically.
did help you. I got you this great, easy gig, fast money, great guns, and you did the not friendly thing by screwing me over. So,
What
look,
were we
I
hired to do
get you.
specifically?
You were hired to make sure the miners don't do exactly what they're doing right now.
Why did we have a
So
hold
to
full
get
of
them a
guns?
That was your payment.
At this point,
Those
guys,
guns are worth a lot of
tapping
money.
The text thing that he's been typing at you all.
To
So we were not
to kill
hired-
the miners. That is why we have guns. It's like, yes. See, I suggested maybe you go, aggressively persuade them to not revolt. Maybe intimidate them into just standing down, and everything goes hunky dory. They go back to work. Bizco's happy. Nobody has to die. I was the pacifist in this, but the guns were for if that didn't work. So
Tolan,
you didn't have to kill them, but
do
they
you
did need
know
to not
anything about
do this.
the big walled-in section in our cargo bay?
I don't know anything about your ship. I've never been there.
Well, Tolan, you see, here's the deal. Your contract is null and void because we're not the same people that made the contract.
That's not gonna fly.
Really? You wanna
well-
talk legalese in terms of insomnia or amnesia? That's the word, right?
Let's forget the legal bit for now. If you don't fix this, you will have effectively crossed Vizco. Vizco hates that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say they hate that, I mean they will spend considerably large amounts of money to make sure that it is well known that you don't cross them and live to tell about it.
And who hired us?
Vizco.
Through you.
Yes, I am also in trouble here, but they will come specifically after you to kill you. They will just blackmark me and make my job really hard.
Yeah.
Guy just
Maybe
like,
come rough me up.
move Sparky to the side and start signing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get us in contact with Tony?
But,
Because
I'm
we
having
may have
trouble
already
keeping up here.
released the
Tony who?
information about what Bisco is doing.
oh god, this is a nightmare. Okay. How do we fix this? How do we fix this?
Get us in contact with Tony to negotiate with the miners.
Okay. Here's what we do. So, we make it out like the miners got in contact with Tony Corporation, and that we weren't a part of this at all, and maybe that might be able to convince them that that's where they got the guns, but no, you're still going to be on the hook for the guns. They're Vizco brand. There's no way they would go for that. So you're still going to be in trouble, but we can still save my ass, and they probably won't try to kill you. They'll just be really grouchy at you.
How do they know they have Visco guns?
That was they came from Vizco. That was your payment.
Right. But how do they know that we gave those guns to the miners?
How did they know that the miners did not take them from us?
Guys, looking at you like you're dumb.
Yeah, I'm pointedly not looking at Guy.
One way or
Guy pulls
another,
out
Vizco's
his
going to
knife,
make.
opens it up, and shows them a serial number on the inside of the battery component of their knife.
But how do they know that the miners didn't take it from us? Sharks is on or something?
That's what I said.
I will try to sell that. I'm not going to flat out lie for you, but I will hint that might have been what happened. And I'll just say, quite truthfully, that I haven't been able to get in contact with you for most of the day. And I'll just leave out the part where you keep hanging up on me.
Listen, for all I know, you're just some weird stranger who's got us on the hook for something.
Annie winks at Tolan.
What is that? What is that wink?
She just does it again.
Guy
this
winks
is
at
my worst.
Tolan.
This is the worst day ever. Okay. Look, I will talk to the Tony Consortium. I will see what I can do. I can't make any promises, but you need to get those guns back from the miners. That would help.
They're not going
Or
to give
talk
us
to them.
back until we can provide them with another avenue, and that's what we're trying to do through the Tony Consortium. So if you could just work your magic, see what you can find out, maybe put us through, that would be the ideal situation, because then we can kind of go from there. But right now, those miners are not giving us back those guns.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, look, I'm going to do this partly because I need to save my own ass, and partly because, well, up until now, you've all done excellent work. So, I'm going to do this, but you owe me one.
You bet, Tolan. We owe you one, bud.
Can do.
All right.
Get back
Give me
to
some
us.
time.
Get back to us when you know something, and I won't hang up on you next time.
We're gonna have to talk about our communication.
Love you, buddy.
but
Bye.
later.
I'll just.
Annie just waves enthusiastically.
Love you, buddy. Goodbye.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Tolan hangs up this time before you can hang
Okay.
up on him.
And the doctor's just taking notes. In the bathroom.
Hogan's personality. Wouldn't it be great if we were just messing with him and we were all just ourselves?
I think you would give him an aneurysm.
I feel like that's the kind of people we were.
You're probably not wrong.
Oh no. Meantime.
You know, I was typing all this out because there wasn't a pause, but now there's a good pause. So,
Okay.
real quick, thank you, Michael Wayne, for the gifted subs to Econorlax and Half-Arsed Hermit. Also, Hermit, nice to see you. However you would like to use those. So you each have essentially $5 to spend on the little chart right down here. And you can gift those to the cast or to me, depending on what you want to do, or you can split it up however you like. Just let us know in chat, and I will get those on the counters. Also, we had a $6 donation from Michael Wayne. The DM should have some D6s. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Both for the D6s and the donation. Thank you very much. So that's going to be 3 D6s for me. Sure, Tolan won't use any of those. Alright, so where were we?
We're trying to figure out what we as a crew should be doing while we're waiting for Tolan to get back to us.
It is entirely up to you. At this point, Vizco isn't after you yet. They're at the annoyed stage, not at the angry come to kill you stage.
So we should probably dump these guns somewhere, right? We probably don't want them on our ship.
I, for one, would like to keep the guns.
Okay, but why?
Well, we clearly wanted them for something.
I mean, it sounds like we were just badass mercenaries. We might have just wanted guns.
Yeah.
There's certainly, even with the half that you still have left, there's certainly enough to well arm all of you and then make a substantial profit selling them somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think there's any benefit to getting rid of them right now. There's no
really
benefit
is not.
keeping them right now, but I mean, there could be later, so I don't think we should just drop them.
If anything, we can practice and then sell the rest.
There's a text from Seattle that says, guns are good to sell.
If we know who to sell them to. They're Visco branded, as you so pointed out.
We have
I'm
a
certain there is a
contact.
space station.
Captain
We
knows
have
best.
Tony.
Also of note, actually, no, I won't give this to you for free. I'm going to make you roll something for it. Let's do gut feeling for this to see if you would think of this.
Who specifically?
Everyone.
Okay.
I am not rolling gut feeling.
I would like to re-roll that. If anyone has any objections.
With a 15, you met the DC for this.
Oh, Jay.
You don't have to re-roll it.
Oh.
Or, sorry, Jay. Yeah. Let me put it this way: I wouldn't spend your re-roll on it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So Annie and Sparky, you both have a light bulb moment of, wait, we have our actual names now, and the futuristic version of the internet exists.
Sparky's gonna pull up like on the main screen, something on the terminal, like, okay, what did Tolan say our names were?
So Lister, Annalise, what's her last name?
Belmont.
Belmont. Guy, can't remember Guy's last name.
Lavoie.
Blah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Gabrielle, what was the last name again?
Rose.
Oh, actually, he didn't give you.
Yeah, I don't
Rose
have a
Hill.
name,
He didn't.
but because we don't
But
know
he-
if that is
yeah.
my name.
Right. And then Jacques, which I don't think Jacques had a last name listed.
Jacques does not have a last name. No.
Okay, so Dr. Jacques.
I will look up. I'll look up Annie first, because I do want to see if
Okay.
she's actually the captain.
Okay, I
Got my
gotta start doing
suspicions.
this. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous,
And that's stuck in my head the other day.
Sunny like a,
Oh no.
sunny like a ding, ding dang dong.
Ding dang dong.
Apologies to the American audience for our French lullaby.
I understood all of that.
Oh, good.
So
We sing that here too.
Oh, okay. I don't know how things work. So yeah, look up Annie first on the net.
Okay. So Vanessa, what do you think would be readily available about Annie on the internet, if anything?
Yeah.
The option of nothing is also on the table.
You know what? I was in the shower washing my hair earlier, and I was thinking about what Annie would probably be nabbed for. So, hair washing thoughts. I think Annie. I don't think Annie would be like in for any sort of physical crime, so not like murder or anything. But I think she would probably be somebody who deals a lot in the buying and selling of information, kind of like that sort of thing. I had a whole bunch of words and now I don't remember any of them, but
You were kind of like an
you know,
information
like that
broker.
sort of thing though. Like, yeah, she's kind of like an information broker, and she might go in and like hack into a company and steal information, and then maybe she'll steal a little extra for herself.
A little bit of corporate espionage.
Yeah, something like that, I think.
More white collar
Okay.
crimes, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
As far as white collar goes in space, yeah.
Yeah,
Do we wear collars in space?
we do now.
It's up to you.
We're a collar wearing
So
crew.
let me ask you this then, Vanessa. Would Annalise Belmont be her real name that would be associated with those things on the internet?
Good question. I never thought about it. I don't know. I feel like she's really good at what she does. So I don't think she would have got caught for her real name. I don't know.
Okay.
I think that's
Um,
probably the name that she would be known by. Yes.
Yeah.
Whether it's her real name or not probably isn't the issue, but that's what she's known as.
Nice.
Okay. How do you feel about Sparky looking something up on the internet and like the only thing that really comes up right off the bat is maybe a link to like a consulting company, like almost like a shell corporation type consulting company.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Jacques, got your message. That would work. So yeah, Sparky, that is what comes up. There's a link to like a corporation, consulting sort of shell corporation. The website's super basic. Like there's only an email address. There's no phone number.
I'm gonna bookmark that one for later. I'm gonna do some poking
Okay.
around. I'll look up Guy next, and then Jacques.
Okay. So Alex, what would be on the internet readily available about Guy?
Well, he was released after being after being a suspect in the murder of his husband.
Okay.
Very vicious, brutal murder too.
Whoa.
The reason he was the prime suspect was he woke up next to the corpse. And immediately called the cops because
That's a heavy sleeper.
after that it was a lot harder to get more reputable work.
Mm.
So he just slowly but surely found around till he found something interesting. He has a criminal record for getting into bar fights. And maybe occasionally killing space Nazis. But he's
Okay.
and occasionally cops, because well, cops and space Nazis are often the same thing. So yeah, he's killed some people, he's done some shit, he's definitely been in trouble for smuggling and possibly removing numbers off of things.
Gotcha. And in this universe too, the GPS or Galactic Police Force are definitely known for being super corrupt and abusive of their authority. Yeah, that would make sense.
But
I'm gonna say
he's from Earth.
Okay, I'm gonna say with a cursory search, if you want to roll, you can find more information. But a cursory search, you certainly find like the news story about the murder. Can see that guy was arrested and then later released or acquitted, and that he's from Earth. I think that's probably about the main information you'd find. With a cursory search, but if you want to dig in deeper, you can. Up to you, Sparky.
I'll leave that one for now. And we'll go on to Jacques. So, Dr. Jacques, if there's anything that pops up for that.
You would find that Jacques has been offering services, both surgical and psychological, to people that don't really want it coming back to them.
Ooh, a black market psychiatrist.
And surgeon.
Nice, okay. Sounds like a good book title. Black market psychiatrist.
That does sound like a good book title.
So,
okay.
And then I will look up, Captain.
Yes.
What's your serial number?
Do I know that?
Yeah, you would know that offhand.
Okay, I'm gonna just punch that in, see if anything comes up for that.
Unless Lisa has any objection to this, it doesn't exist.
No problem there.
Okay. Like literally, it comes up and says no search results found.
Okay, that's the weirdest one. Anyone else think that's weird?
That's a good question. Has Sparky been saying all of this stuff out loud or showing everybody?
Yeah, I put it up on the main screen.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody has this information then.
Yeah, unless anyone has objected to it.
That sounds about right for me, though.
Guy has gone like blanched as fuck as the news report comes up, because for some reason it fills him with absolute dread and horror, and that's it. Guy's gone. Guy's leaving. Bye.
He's bailed.
That's understandable. I mean, if I had no recollection of my past and then I found out that I'd been accused of brutally murdering my spouse, I'd be like, wait, what? Wait, back that up. I had a spouse. Let's start with that.
Right? But I don't remember.
It is not possible that there is no search results for me. I am paired to this ship.
That's really weird. I'm gonna look up our ship name too.
Okay. Cursory search. It's a whole lot of criminal reports. There's like, there's criminal reports of just constantly showing up in different places. You're definitely not on good terms with the GPF. It's not quite so much that they're going out of their way to try to arrest you.
But there's like an APB.
But if you were to... Yeah. I'll give you this much. Without going into too much detail, you get the sense that they probably should arrest you on that APB, but nobody in their right mind is going to try.
Too hot.
Yeah. From what you've read, and there's even like some articles about you, the consensus is that just like you're not worth the trouble for the GPF right now. Because they would need a lot of backup, and nobody wants to be the first to get shot to bring you in.
Does anyone remember that? Any of these?
I do not remember it, but it sounds plausible. Very plausible.
Okay. I'm good if anyone else wants to look more about themselves. I think that's probably best. I'm just gonna start walking away from the console.
All right. Hey, that's 10 interactions on Twitter.
Ooh,
Let's get
very
another
nice.
D4 to both of us. So that's a D4 to the cast, which puts you at 2D4, 5D6, 1 switch, and 1 reroll. And I've got 2D4, 3D6, and 1 switch.
So yeah, I've left the console like unlocked. If anyone else is doing
One
anything
thing I
on
can
it.
say, we are armed. The miners are armed. Do they really want to send in a strike force?
If we're this badass, I don't know. I feel like I would think twice.
Tolan seemed pretty clear on the fact that, like, they would have no qualms about killing all of you.
But could they?
Or no qualms and no doubt about their ability to
okay.
do so.
Mm.
I mean, you could absolutely fight back, and you could run and hide and things like that, but
Small
in a
numbers.
direct... Yeah, in a direct one-on-one conflict or trying to hold a defensible location, no, you would get overrun in a heartbeat. Or just killed from orbit.
Anyone else still kind of wondering about that big thing in the cargo bay? Because I know I am.
Very much.
I couldn't get into it. You think I could get into it?
It is possible.
Okay, I'm gonna start walking down where I saw a guy running off to.
All right.
And I'll let other people kind of take stage.
Is Guy findable?
Guy's inside a wall.
Okay, that's fair. All right, then what is everyone else doing?
Idling.
Saves power.
I am going to practice in the range.
Okay.
Seeing as we have guns and we are supposed to be proficient with them.
Presumably, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say the ship does have a small gun range. So nothing bigger than handguns or SMGs would work, but yeah, there's a small range on the ship. I could get behind that.
Just to see
Definitely
if
not in
I
front
am
of that.
one
That
the
would be a
ones
bad idea,
that
but
is proficient.
yeah. What's Jacques' training? Do you have any training in single ranged attacks?
I have.
Or I'm sorry, tech weapons?
I have. Yes, that is the only training I have. Is tech weapons.
Okay. Then yeah, you get the once you pick up a handgun or an SMG or something like that, it feels familiar. It feels comfortable, and you get the feeling like you're maybe not the best shot in the galaxy, but you can definitely handle it. Handle yourself with a weapon.
And how do I do on the target?
Go ahead and make me an attack roll.
An attack roll. Training type tech weapons. Bonus to hit none. Correct?
It should just be your mental attribute, your training in
That is on a
tech weapons,
constitution,
and then
correct?
I think so. Yeah. I'll have to look at your sheet
I will roll and see if it is correct.
to see. Yeah, you've got it in there, correct.
That is correct. Perfect.
So with the 12, yeah, it's not the best spread, or grouping rather, but if the target had been a person, they'd definitely be dead.
Wonderful. Now I'm slightly more confident in myself.
Okay. What about Annie? What's Annie doing? Unless Vanessa's not back yet. Might not be back yet.
No.
Okay.
I think she's gonna be in a minute. Sounds like dog ate embroidery.
Oh, that's not good. Okay. Well, then does anybody else want to do anything? Because you've got some time before Tolan's going to get back to you, and Vizco's not imminent threat yet.
If Android is cool with it, I kind of want her help in like figuring out the box thing.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
You just have to ask her.
Yeah, I just come back up to the bridge. Like, I can't find Guy. Android, do you think you could help me with the thing?
If that is your request, yes.
That's gonna take some getting used to. That's really weird. Yeah, come with me, please.
All right.
Cool. So I'll like lead down to the cargo bay. Can you describe the box thing again? I'm like fizzing on it.
Yeah. So it's it looks like it's pretty much the same material as the rest of the ship. So like the outer hull. It's very durable and sturdy. It's about, I think it said it was like a quarter of the size of the whole cargo bay, or maybe an eighth. That's definitely not taking up the majority of the cargo bay, but it is pretty sizable. It's got two big doors that seem to, they're like sliding doors. So there's a gap, or not so much a gap as a seam in the middle where they would part and go away from each other to open up. And it looks like a really, really tight seal. It's well armored. It doesn't look like you'd be able to, just shoot a hole through it with your gun. And there is an electronic keypad next to it with a basic QWERTY keyboard, which is apparently for typing in the passcode, as near as you can tell.
So I tried putting in whatever might have come to mind, but I don't think I know it.
Yeah, I think you did try that last time, and yeah, whatever you typed in, it didn't work.
Do you know any passwords for it?
Do I?
You do not.
I have no recollection of how to access this.
If you want, you can do. Well, actually, no. You've got a 9 in recall, so I'm just going to say that you're able to find this without having to roll. You do find like the remains of an index file. So it's like there's something in your memory banks that says, "Oh yeah, door password," and you follow that thread, and that file has been erased. So do know that you at one time knew it.
It appears at one point I did have information on this, but it was specifically deleted.
Okay, well, I guess we'll leave the weird, creepy box that takes up a bunch of the cargo space alone for now. Can you find Guy?
Guy is in a wall.
Qu'est-ce que fuck?
Guy is inside one of the working panels of the wall of the ship.
Oh, see, because when I heard you say the guy was in a wall, I was like, that sounds crazy. But you're serious, aren't you?
Of course I am.
Of course you are. Okay. Is he okay?
I do not know about his mental state at this moment. You would
Guy
have
is
to ask
quietly
him.
bawling his eyes out.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Guy is like mourning
guy.
a loss that he doesn't even know he had and doesn't know why he's feeling this much fucking loss.
Yikes. That's hardcore. Okay, I'm just gonna go to my quarters for a while, so if you find Guy, can you let me know?
Would you like me to search for him?
I mean, yeah, I mean, if he's in a wall, he probably needs some time. But, you know, if he finds you, or if anyone else needs me, I'll just be in my cabin.
Okay.
So I'll just go to my cabin.
okay.
And I'm gonna look up myself on the net.
Okay. So, just trying to find what you sent me about what you would find. So yeah, you find a headline that says cartel assassin known as Blister acquitted of all charges in murder of royal family. All findings classified by order of Judge Artel. Outrage from royals and citizens continues.
I'm gonna close that, I'm gonna wipe the history, and I'm gonna close the terminal and walk out of my room. And I'm gonna go cook.
Okay. All right. What are you gonna
I'm gonna
cook?
cook a 5-course meal for one.
All right. Let's do a naturalist
All right.
roll and see how well you cook.
This is stress eating, 100%. Oh yeah, it's bad stress eating too.
Yeah, that's like you're so flustered that like you forgot that something was on the stove.
yeah.
Like you thought you had turned it down to low, but it was still on high. You mixed up the sugar and the salt, like that kind of stuff.
Why'd you gotta say it like that?
Guy emerges from the hall, the wall, in the mess hall.
There's a lot of smoke. So
For the intercom, the android is just going to say, I would request that you do not start fires on the ship.
I'm not trying to, Android, it's fine. It's oh, fuck.
That does not sound fine.
I burned myself, it's fine.
Do you require medical
Nope.
assistance?
Nope, we're fine.
Guy calmly goes over to the fire extinguisher and starts putting out the toast.
Oh, I was gonna that's gonna ruin the
Yeah, pretty much everything that you tried to cook was completely
Oh
inedible.
good.
It would have made you
Okay.
sick had you tried to eat it.
Why were you in the wall?
Guy points at you and points at you to sit,
Alright.
and he makes
So-
you a bowl of cereal.
All right.
It's hot cereal.
That's just porridge. That's all it is.
There are many different types of hot cereals.
I know.
He makes you Red River cereal.
Okay, I'll you know what, I'll accept that.
Is that like malto meal?
What it?
Red River cereal is it's like 5 different grain cereal, hot cereal.
Okay.
It's just a brand up here, I think.
It's
Yeah.
delicious, but
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can't eat it.
Ooh, that sounds
actually
interesting.
good.
So good.
Yeah.
It sounds
Um,
like oatmeal.
It's I mean, it basically is, but so yeah, I'll consume
It's
that
a
and
scrubby
kind of.
buddy for your gut.
I'm just gonna stare into my bowl and try not to make eye contact with the guy.
Guy's eyes are like full red
Mhm.
rimmed. It's obvious he's been crying.
Yep.
Poor guy.
Rough day, huh? Yep.
Guy proceeds
Okay.
to make himself a bowl of cereal.
it's
And
comfort
dumps
food
and
time.
as much syrup as he can find into it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
It's a lot of
there's
syrup.
not much else I'd be doing aside from kind of just listlessly wandering after that.
Okay. What about Annie and/or Jacques?
Jacques,
Are either of you doing anything?
Jacques would, after practicing at the range for a while, go and make something in the mess hall.
Okay. What about Annie?
Okay, sorry. Similarly to Sparky, Annie's going to return to her room and see if she can find anything additional on herself.
Okay. Let's do, you could do either education or tech engineering to do a more advanced search on yourself.
12.
Which skill was that for?
Education.
Education? Okay. You try every different search term you can think of, but you don't find a whole lot more about yourself. Maybe a couple of tiny details about maybe somebody that you sold information to, but you're not sure if it was a good transaction or a bad transaction, just that you had some interaction with this this entity, and that can be whoever you'd like it to be.
Oh, sorry.
That's about all you're able to track down.
Sorry, hold on. I've got to be right back again. But yeah, okay, that's cool.
Okay, no worries. So Jacques, you go to the mess hall, and Guy and Sparky are both there eating hot cereal.
I see that the kitchen has been
Destroyed is the word you're looking for.
Gestures at Sparky.
yes.
Gestures at Sparky with one hand while still eating and not looking up.
Yeah, I'll kind of like I'll wave at Jacques, and I'm staring at an empty bowl at this point, and just
I am going to clean up the kitchen and cook something myself.
that's fair.
Guy is going to
Okay.
use the tablet that he's got to start looking up information for himself while he's sitting there.
Okay. It'll be the same roll for Guy, so either education
Tech engineering.
or tech. Okay.
Can I roll a d6?
Sure.
More than enough of them.
Great. 15.
Oof.
15. Fantastic. That's just enough to get more information.
The information specifically he's looking for is, did they ever find his husband's killer?
I don't know. Alex, did they find his killer?
No. They have absolutely
I was gonna say
no
that would be my vote,
They
but
have absolutely no idea who did it.
Oof.
And they stopped looking
Mm.
suspiciously quickly after they couldn't pin it on him.
okay. Yeah, that just that puts a whole lot of things just perfectly into place for me. Thank you for that gift, Alex.
I legit have no idea where this backstory is going. All I'm thinking of is what is the most likely to get me something interesting from Raven? And just throw it at you.
Oh yeah, that was. I've been trying to figure out what to do about a couple of different things, and that was that perfect last little piece, just right in place there. So yeah, you'll find out about that later. But yeah, Guy finds out that they never did find his husband's killer.
And Jacques is not making anything too terribly involved, just a egg and cheese sandwich.
Okay.
Guy is stoically not sharing any of this, by the way.
I figured. Okay. Well, it's gonna be probably at least another 12 hours or so. So it'll be the next day before Tolan gets back to you. Is there anything that you want to do other than what's already been done between now and the next day?
Is Android able to look up any information on herself?
Absolutely. Yeah, if you would like to look something up, you can.
It's either education or tech engineering.
Yeah, for the android, it's gonna be tech engineering because regardless of how high the education roll is, there's no new information that's available.
25. I got a nat 20.
Nice. So a 35 with the nat 20, and yeah, surprisingly, you're actually able to get some more information on why that serial number doesn't exist on the internet. So, trying to think of how to describe this. You essentially kind of hack into a couple of sites, and you're able to find out that your model was never put into production. It was never even released as like a public prototype, and it was originally developed for Black Ops military.
Oh, great.
And that's why you have, like, Baraka blades in your arm and things like that. You don't know how you came to be on this ship, or came to be this ship's android. But yeah, you're essentially a experimental prototype made for Black Ops types situations.
Gotcha.
Which, incidentally, is perfect for a group of badass mercenaries.
Good to know.
Yeah. So, yeah, anything else before we go on to the next day?
I'm good.
Yes. One more thing. I will attempt to decipher my notes.
Okay. Let's go with...
Each individual has their own cipher, by the way.
Okay. Let's go with, we call that an education roll. Because it's written down on paper,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's the only reason they still exist, basically. Because all the digital information's been wiped. So yeah, let's do education for that.
16. And I'm deciphering my own specifically.
Ooh.
Okay, trying to decipher your own first.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to get a little bit of information off of it. It's slow going, and you're kind of having to go letter by letter to figure this out. But if you take the rest of the day to do this, you're able to get one word off of this, and that is cartel.
takes note of that.
Okay. We'll go ahead and fast forward then to the next day with Tolan calling. And who's going to pick that up?
Annie.
There you go.
Guy.
Annie. picked it
Okay.
up.
We'll have Guy and Annie both be there to answer it then.
Okay.
As you pick up the call, Tolan looks like he hasn't slept. His hair's like, obviously he's been running his like fingers through his hair because his hair is like all like messy and going every which way. He's got like, you know, for a male haircut. So for a guy, it's would be mid-length, I guess you could call it. It's not super short. So there's enough that it's sticking off like, you know, a good couple inches off the top of his head. Like, okay. Talk to people. And I think I've got something worked out here.
All right, let's hear it.
I think that's a good spot to take a break. So we're going to go do a 10-minute break so everybody can stretch your legs, grab snacks, anything like that you need. And then when we come back, we'll find out what Tolan has to say. So I'll see you all in 10 minutes.
Better be good, Tolan.
We are back. So, before we left, Tolan had just called and said, looking very much like he hadn't slept all night. He's like, okay, I think I figured something out. Talked to the Tony Consortium, and, well, they're not really willing to take the heat on this. So the best they can do, they're going to basically agree to have. We're going to say that they, quote unquote, they previously made a deal with just you to arm the miners. So, good news, bad news situation. Good news is, they're going to work with the miners to try and get a contract with them over Vizco. They're going to do so behind the scenes. So they can't be publicly involved with anything, but they've got plenty of resources to do that without being, implicated. However, you're gonna basically have to take the blame for it, that you're the one that took two different deals. That's the bad news. Good news is, you're gonna piss off Vizco, they might start coming after you. But in this case, I'm not on bad terms with Vizco. And they don't come after me, which means I'm in more of a position to help you.
I guess there are deals.
Very logical.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it saves my ass, and you basically end up with a friend versus only enemies.
How soon can the Tony Consortium come out to meet with the miners?
I don't know. They just said that they'll take care of it. So, at this point, I have to talk to Vizco and just tell them that you've gone rogue on this job. So, you probably should either make nice with Vizco. Maybe they'll overlook this situation. Or probably get the hell out of there. Because I imagine before the Tony Consortium can really do anything, there's still going to be some hostilities.
Tell the Tony Consortium that I am here if they need anyone patched up.
I'm sure they've got their own doctors for that.
Do we really bail on this?
Well, we're gonna have to go back and tell the miners about it. We can't just bail.
Well, just remember the important part that you took a separate deal with the other people, and that I wasn't involved in any of this crap.
Yeah, you don't exist to anyone. You're fine.
Perfect. That's yes, correct. I don't. We're all clear on that. Not just
Sparky.
Sparky.
But you do exist.
Sparky.
Huh.
Right. I'm gonna let you talk to your android about this. Everybody else is clear.
I would rather not inform other people of their existence.
That's
For my
see.
sake.
This is
As well as the others.
Guy turns to the android.
this is why we've worked so well together in the past.
Guy turns to the android. If ordered, Tolden's name is now Buttface.
Oh Jesus!
Butt face. Registered.
You know what? After the day I've had, I'm not even gonna worry about it. I need a drink. Get your shit together. Solve your little memory problem. And let me know when you're ready to take on more work and I'll find something for you.
Hopefully the next job will not involve so much conflict.
Yeah, or amnesia. Or guns?
I don't know. I'm surprisingly okay with guns.
If we are mercenaries, that is unlikely.
Hmm.
It's more
I think-
conflict that I have a problem with.
Thanks, Tolan.
Thank you,
Well,
butt face.
We'll be in touch.
Yep. He hangs
Okay.
up. And, well, actually, before he hangs up, you see him grabbing, like, a gigantic crystal decanter of something, probably, like, bourbon or
Nice.
brandy or something like that, off of the table and just, like, starts to pour himself a glass and then just stops, puts the stopper on the table and just drinks from the bottle. and then the video goes off.
Oof. So what's the plan? Do we tell the miners and then get the hell out of here? What do we do?
Yeah, that. Definitely that.
Can we really outrun Visco? Is that
Well, we can hide. I'm sure this vessel has some kind of stealth.
Guy signs. We do not have the ammo to take on Bisco.
I'm just saying they're going to be on our ass for a while.
Would Android know
Stealth.
if there's any kind of stealth equipped to the ship?
There's no real stealth equipment on the ship, but like it's space, so unless somebody's actively trying to hunt you down, and within sensor range, they're not going to know you're there.
There's no cloaking on this ship, but I'm confident that we would be able to elude them for quite some time at least.
That might be the best information you've given me all day, Android.
Yeah, same. I think we need to acquire some stealth capabilities, though.
Maybe we should stop getting paid in guns.
Yes, and we should
There's not
unload these as soon as possible.
There's not a whole lot of like stealth technology that really exists.
Not legal.
But you did have that. No, that just the technology doesn't exist. You did have that other registration though. What was it? Sunglasses at night, I think is what it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Or the sunglasses or something like that.
I think I wrote it.
So you do have that alternate registration that you can use in spaceports.
I
I
vote
think
running.
our first. Well, we need to help the miners first. So I think what we should do is go back down and meet with them and tell them what the situation is.
Just so I'm clear, what's the situation? That we took another deal with the Tony Consortium, is that right?
Well, yeah, the Tony Consortium is going to come and essentially bail them out, I guess, is the right way of looking at it. They're going to come and make a deal with them.
Okay.
They have to be prepared for that.
Yeah. Do we think Visco's gonna come in while that's going on?
You really have no way of knowing.
Did Tolan say anything about like the current level though that Visco's at? Like, I know we said that it's more of like a major annoyance than anything else, but is that something that the crew would know?
Guy is trying to
Tolan
get
say
your
anything about it?
attention
Yeah, guy is waving
and
his hands.
snapping. Look, we've done all we can. We gave them guns. We'll let them know that the Tony Consortium's on its way and knows what's going on, and are here to help them. We've done what we can. We should go.
That might be the first time I've agreed with Guy.
Yes, I will stay here and protect the ship.
Okay, who else is going down?
I'll go with you.
Okay,
Guy's the only one who knows how to pilot that thing.
that's
So
also true. Okay, so I will go as well.
Guy makes sure they do
Okay.
not try to pack more of the guns on.
Keep me updated.
You caught me, red-handed.
Okay. So on the shuttle is Sparky and Guy, and was anybody else going? Sorry?
Annie.
Annie, okay. My brain is having a hard time holding on to information tonight. So we got Sparky, Guy, and Annie. You take the shuttle down. Have you contacted the miners via comms yet?
I would say so. Yeah, if we're gonna go
Yeah.
down, we kind of need to know where to
Probably.
meet.
Okay. So in this case, they tell you not to meet at the Box Canyon, but rather right next to one of the big industrial complexes. So it's basically just this giant factory with warehouses and stuff, and it's all just sort of buildings attached to each other. Really big complex. And there's some landing pads that you can land on. And I cannot remember the name of the foreman from last
the
week.
foreman's name, Sonia Tompkins.
Thank you. So Sonia, or Sonia, meets you on the landing pad and says, "All right, thanks for coming down. At this point, we've pretty much made our position clear, so it really doesn't matter that you're here out in the open. There's nothing left to hide. But you said something about it having an urgent message."
I'm gonna nudge Annie.
Yeah, we just
up.
wanted to update on the situation.
Sorry,
what was that?
it broke up a little bit. Update what?
Oh, I just said we wanted to update you on the situation.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we got the guns, and we've told Vizco we're kicking them off the planet. What is there to update?
Well, have you given any thought to what's going to happen after you kick Vizco off the planet?
Well, I mean, just the conversation we had before. We're taking one thing at a time. We get Vizco off of here, and then we'll sell our ore to somebody else, and we'll
But have
we
you
talked about
considered
hiring you
that?
maybe to ship it out.
That is, yes. Well, we did talk about that, yes. But after some thought, what's going to stop Vizco from coming back is, I guess, the main worry that we have, not necessarily for us, but also for you guys. I don't know.
Well, she holds up a machine gun. It's just like, well, that's what we got the guns for.
Listen, I very much appreciate your enthusiasm and your bright outlook, but I think it's probably wisest to have a plan B in place before you go around using machine guns on everybody.
All right. Did you have some ideas?
We do, actually.
Aren't you smugglers?
Yep, that's what we are. We're smugglers. Smugglers with
Okay.
ideas.
This is okay. Admittedly, not the strangest thing I've heard, but seems a little odd. But yes, come on inside. We'll sit down. You can tell me your ideas, and I'll have one of the boys make some coffee. And assuming you all follow, she'll lead you into it's sort of like a break room, essentially. And you're given mugs of coffee. And she sits down and says, "All right, what's your ideas?"
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, the major concern would be Visco leaving temporarily, but then essentially you guys are left without really much else than your own manpower. So what we did is we contacted the Tony Consortium on your behalf, and they are going to send someone to speak with you. They're not just going to come in here, they're going to come in and speak with you and see if they can broker some sort of deal with you guys, and essentially do all of that under the table, and give you the time to put something together, and then that would essentially give you a layer of protection from Visco trying to come back for you.
What are they going to want in return? Because the corporations are all the same. They're going to try to screw us over.
Absolutely. But having someone come in and have a discussion with you is going to give you the opportunity to kind of field that out yourself and see what you're willing to compromise on. So at least it's another option. I'm assuming that you would probably rather have a safety blanket rather than just waiting to see if Visco comes back for you. We weren't in contact with anyone on their side. we had to kind of, I guess, take a reroute on that one. But we do know that the information is good, that they will send someone to have a discussion with you. And like I said, we don't know what they would want in return, but it's up to you to kind of broker that deal and see what you come up with. That's the only layer of protection that we can offer you, aside from helping you push Vizco out with the guns that we already gave you.
Okay. Well, what do you all get from this? Nobody does this type of stuff out of the goodness of their hearts.
There's a cut.
Like, what are you getting out of the deal?
There's a cut.
From the consortium?
From an interested third party. Just like full blank face.
Go ahead and roll speech
All
for
right.
that there, Sparky. She doesn't readily believe you, so let's...
I wouldn't readily believe me.
18?
An interested third party that wishes to remain unnamed but has your best interests at heart.
I mean, I don't quite believe that last part, but fair enough. All right, well, what do we have to do?
I could just like look back to Annie like I said my bit.
Annie places her hands on the table and kind of pushes away the coffee cup. And she says, listen, first of all, what you need to do is stop threatening Vizco's families. That would be great.
Okay, I guess that was a little over the top.
Probably a little bit, yeah. But so essentially the thought is that if you guys can hold off just a little longer in order to wait for this person to come from the Tony Consortium, try to fly as under the radar as possible. I know given the situation, that's a little bit, impossible on a lot of different fronts. But if you guys can dial it back a little bit, that would be phenomenal. Like I said, the threats are a little bit out there. So if you guys can pull it back a little bit and try to minimize the amount of conflict that's going on here, I think that would probably do you the most amount of good.
Okay, so basically stall.
Yes. Perfect.
All right, well, I suppose it would be better to have some kind of support, and well, it doesn't really hurt to talk to them, and we'll have final say on what happens. So
The worst
with the consortium,
Yeah, the worst possible outcome is that you say no to the deal and they leave, and that puts you right back in the position that you're already in. So you're not giving up anything to kind of hear them out and see what they want from you. And like you said, you do have the last say. So I think that would probably benefit you the most.
Let me think about this a second. Annie, would you like to roll speech or charm to try to kind of get that final convincing happening?
They're both the same, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, it can matter a little bit. Like, which route do you want to go? Do you want to try to get her to do this because you're so likable and she's relating to you, or just like pure logic of like, that makes the most sense, so that's what I should do?
The logic route. As much as Annie is a ball of sunshine, she's trying to help them. Like it's not a charm your way into the situation. She's like, listen, this is the best way for you. And it's gonna offer you the most of a safety net kind of deal.
Okay.
Yeah, she went with the speech option.
Would you like to use any kind of bonus on this, like a D4 or a D6 or the reroll?
Yeah, I'll use a D6.
Okay.
Ooh.
That is not quite high enough to convince her.
Come on, Sonia. I forget how to roll just a d6. What do I
I can roll one if you need.
Oh, it's /R space 1d6.
Oh, great. The 13.
So a 13. It takes her a while. Like there's awkward silence, and you're pretty sure she's not gonna go for it there for a while. But reluctantly, she kind of agrees to it. Says, "All right, well, we'll stop threatening their families. That's something they would do. That was over the top. We'll back off on that. Can't promise that the rest won't continue. Tell them that they can't come in here, threatening to shoot them if they cross the picket line, so to speak. All that stuff. But we'll stop threatening their families, and we'll talk to this consortium."
Annie gives her a very cheerful, very up kind of smile, and she kind of crosses her fingers in front of her, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm not telling you not to shoot them if they come on in here, but I think it would probably be in your best interest just to wait it out."
All right, well, I'll do what I can.
Yeah.
So you get the feeling that you were partially successful in convincing them to tone it down. So what do you do at that point?
So Annie looks to the other two and just kind of asks, like, "All right, you guys ready to go?"
Yep.
As you get ready to leave, does anybody want to do a gut feeling or a hearing check?
I would love
Sure.
to do one of those. They're exactly the same. I feel pretty good about it. I feel all right.
Yeah. Everything went
Mhm.
smooth. Nobody hears a thing.
Nobody got shot.
You're heading on out. Yeah.
Would I notice
You're,
anything
about-
on the ship?
Can I roll a d6, please?
Sure. Yes, if you would like to monitor the situation from the ship, you absolutely can do so.
What would I roll
It's
for
now
that?
14. God damn it.
Let's do tech engineering to use the ship's sensors. You can throw a D4 into that as well if you'd like.
Oof.
Guy.
Yes, I'm going to throw a d4 at her.
24.
Aha! Okay. Make an
Damn.
18.
That 10
Okay.
from me was gut feeling.
So we're both kind of on the same boat. We think that went
10,
well.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much.
How does this guy think that went?
So with a 3, it was it could not have gone better. That was really optimal outcome. So you're gonna have a perfectly safe walk back to your transport shuttle, get back to the ship, and it's just gonna be a party when you get back there.
With an 18?
18? I thought you got a 3.
On the D6.
That was a 3 on the d6. I got an 11 in a
Oh!
I was kind of wondering. I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I was like,
wait.
I've got an
That seems too
18.
suspicious.
No, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong one.
Surprise!
Oh, okay, so that was a 14 plus a 4, so 18.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. I'm sorry,
Opposite of what I just
Raven,
said.
But
Flip side, it's all
No,
tits
opposite
up.
of what I just said.
yeah, guys,
Yeah.
not happy.
You've got like the hair standing up on the back of your neck, and you just got this really uneasy feeling as you're starting to walk back towards your shuttle.
His
And
hand
Gabrielle,
is heading towards his knife.
Yeah.
he's like,
Gabrielle.
he like taps Sparky, like out of sight of Gabrielle.
Okay.
Taps Sparky with hand on knife.
Be like, whoa, no, like it's everything went fine. And he did a great job. What are you talking about? What's up?
Hopping back over to the ship real quick. So Gabrielle, with a 24, it looks like they were probably using the planet and their orbit to kind of hide it. But at the last minute, you see there is a Vizco transport going directly towards your ship's shuttle on the landing pad.
I have communication with the crew, right?
Yes, you do.
Visco transport ship has arrived at the planet. And they appear to be targeting.
I'm gonna grab Guy and be like, we need to go. You're muted.
Guy signs very quickly to Little Mouse and Sparky. Tell them they're coming and get to the ship.
They're coming, run! And I'm just gonna start booking it.
Guys,
Okay.
Y'all are gonna give me a mic.
I know. I tried to yell away from the mic. I apologize.
And I open communication with the Visco ship.
You can try, and yes, Jacques, if you're on the bridge, you can roll gut feeling as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. An 18.
You also get the same feeling that Guy had, which is, just a very bad feeling about this. Something bad's about to happen. So going back to Gabrielle, the android, you were wanting to talk to the Vizco ship? Are you trying to contact the shuttle or the ship that it launched from?
The ship it launched from.
Okay. You call over there, you hail them, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say I'm trying to come up with a name for the ship. My brain is just completely
The
blanking.
Sally Fourth.
Southforth. Okay. So you call over, and a very gruff sounding military type person answers the hail and says, "This is the Vizco ship Sally Forth. What do you want?"
Explain your presence here.
This is our planet. This is our colony.
You are not who
Explain yours.
we are mercenaries.
Okay.
My crew is down on
What
that
do you
planet.
want?
What is your intent?
Roll speech
Oh dear.
or charm if you really want to, but let's see how well you come across to this guy.
Which one's higher? 'Cause my speech is balls and my charm is balls. Okay. Great.
Roll balls.
20. Okay. Not a nat
Nice.
20, but
So
Android's got some
modified
balls.
20 and are you using charm or speech?
speech.
Speech, okay. Also, we had 4 plot points redeemed for a boon to Sparky when you really need it.
Thank you. I got a feeling it's gonna come up soon.
So with a 20, goes, all right, well, not that it's any of your business, but we've got a situation down on the planet with the miners. We've sent a team down to, talk to them about it and get them to, speed up the process. So
When you
if
say
your people are down there, you better tell them to get out of there.
You will wait until my crew is returned to my ship.
I don't take orders from you. You can try speech again if you want to try to intimidate this guy.
when you say talk, what do you mean?
Nat 20.
I mean, talk. Holy shit. I mean talk, and then, talk with loud bangs if necessary. But, Android, as you say, you will wait for my crew to return to the ship. He's like, I don't take orders from you, but fine.
What you do now?
You know what? It's like, fine, you know what? If, I don't want to get anybody else involved in this. That's more paperwork, and I've got leave coming up, and I want to make sure I'm able to keep my reservation at the resort. So fine, they've got.
You look like you need
30 minutes. At this point, he's just like, yeah, I've been really, I've been burning the candle at both ends lately, and I really could use a vacation.
Okay, and I just hang up.
He's like starting to like open up to you, then you just hang up, and he's like,
Droid. I am very much a fan of what you just did.
Oh my god.
You handled that
So,
like a pro.
So the crew, I'm gonna talk to the crew again and say, you have 30 minutes. I bought you 30 minutes. Get off the planet.
Sparky has not stopped running.
Kai grabs Little Mouse because she's the only one who can translate for him currently. And he points at Susan and basically says, like, you have to let them know so they can evacuate.
She nods and heads back to the lot of them that they just left to let them know.
Okay. So what exactly do you say to Sonia?
Just that. What did Android say to them? That there was a ship incoming, right?
Yeah. How did you put it, Lisa?
That Visco had an incoming ship. Basically, is all I said.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, she just says to Sonia, like, we just heard back from our ship. It seems that Visco has sent one of their ships to the planet. I just wanted to warn you so that you could be prepared and get together what you need to get together, but they're on their way.
Okay. Well, I guess we better get ready then. I guess so much for stalling, huh?
Seems like it.
She just sort of freaks out for a minute, and then sort of runs off to go talk to people. Sparky and Guy, as you're moving to leave, I presume.
Guy is having
with-
issues wanting to leave now.
Okay. I presume Annie's not far behind. Before you do leave, though, when you go to the exit of the building, so it's a big warehouse type door, so it's wide enough that you could fit a semi through. And standing in front of that door, shoulder to shoulder, completely the entire width of it, are a bunch of people in black tactical gear, armored with the helmets, with the face shields so you can't see their face and everything, and big guns. And the one guy in the middle who seems to be in charge kind of raises his hand. They all raise their weapons at you. And for a minute there, you're not sure if they're going to shoot or not.
Pointed
And then he puts a... What was that?
Pointed at who?
Annie, Sparky, and Guy.
Oh, okay. They're still in the warehouse with me, are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it seems like an eternity of just not knowing what's gonna happen. And then he puts a couple fingers to his ear. and puts his hand down, and 3 or 4 of the guys in the middle just sort of part to let you past. They don't say anything to you.
Their uniforms, are they the miners or are they Bizco?
There's no markings on the uniforms at all, but it's pretty clear these are not miners.
Yeah, if they had that kind of gear.
They don't hold themselves like miners. They hold themselves like soldiers.
Sparky's going to just keep running.
Guy is kind of torn right now, because if they leave, these miners are going to disappear. And nobody's going to know what happened. And Guy turns around and heads back towards the miners.
Okay. Just a quick note on this. So this actually wasn't a planned thing. I just rolled for a random encounter. It was 1 to 10 on a D100. There would be somebody show up. I got a 10. That's what that roll was.
Of course you
So
did.
just a.
Butt of cows.
So just so you know, it's the dice that hit
Yeah,
you, not
good.
me.
Is not always the way.
Mhm.
So Sparky's sounds like halfway to the transport. Guys, turning back around. What about Annie?
So let's go through this again. Annie's in the warehouse, and the soldiers are blocking the way out of the warehouse. Is that what you said? They've
Yes.
parted?
Yeah, there's a gap in the middle where they're letting you leave.
Okay. Is Sparky already outside? Like,
Oh, yeah.
okay. And Guy turned around and went back towards the inside of the warehouse. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Well, Annie's not just gonna leave Guy. She stays put exactly where she is, watching the soldiers until Guy can get far enough back to like grab somebody or make contact with them or something. Because obviously, if she saw the guy with his fingers to his ears, like they're standing down and letting them go. So there's got to be something, right? She's trying to think like, okay, so they're not supposed to kill us. So maybe she
Guy
can just
is
stand
texting
there.
up to the ship. To Candroid.
Okay. What's Guy texting up?
Guy is texting up. We have to help them stall.
I send a text back saying, "What would you have me do?"
They said 30 minutes. They're here already.
I hail the ship.
Okay. Guy answers and he's like, "Oh, it's you. I was still talking when you hung up earlier.
I was informed I had 30 minutes. My crew has 30 minutes.
Right, okay. Well, that's fine. I guess you've got work to do. So do I. So what do you want?
Why are they already down there?
They were already down there when you called. They're not doing anything for 30 minutes until your crew gets off.
30 minutes or until the crew gets off? Which of the two?
You've got 30 minutes.
I send a text down quickly to Guy. They were already there when he said 30 minutes. They won't do anything for 30 minutes.
That's not what he said. He said that they will not do anything to you for 30 minutes if you leave in 30 minutes. The longer you are there, the safer the miners are.
He just types K.
I will say this, for Android and Jacques, you definitely did not get the impression that they would be sticklers for semantics on what they said, and that it's kind of a minor miracle that they're waiting this long.
So basically, take it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to take it. I'm just saying, if you try to push the envelope, it probably won't end well.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. So leave in 29 minutes.
Tell me about your vacation.
It's like, oh well, it's great. I've got this whole trip planned, going to some tropical resort planet that's known for being very vacation setting. This universe is equivalent to Risa from Star Trek.
Okay.
It's kind of what he describes. He's like, so yeah, I'm going there. I've got like a whole week booked. I haven't taken a vacation in 2 years, so I'm cashing in all my paid time off, and gonna take a whole week for this resort. It's gonna be great.
You are coupled?
I mean, do I have like a girlfriend or something?
Correct.
No, I do not.
Will you be seeking coupling on your vacation? That is common, yes.
He just sort of like clears his throat and this little like finger under the collar thing, like possibly.
I'm interested.
Do humans find that more or less stressful?
Generally less stressful if it goes well. More stressful if it doesn't.
I understand.
This is weird, but you're very easy to talk to. I appreciate that.
Thank you. How long have you worked for this corporation?
I've been with Visco like 10 years now, I think.
Jacques
That
is
is a
just
long
in the
time.
background writing all of this down, by the way.
That's a long time to remain in service for one company.
It's they say it's the Visco life, because once you're Visco for life. That's what they say. There's severe penalties for quitting early.
Oh. During this, she's going to be typing to Guy, "Get off the planet."
Ivan replies with, "Stalling till Tony gets here. Can't let them be forgotten."
Do you come to this planet often?
Come here up.
Oh my god. No, we're usually patrolling further into Visco territory. I think you're the only android I've ever talked to that tries to fill awkward silence with conversation.
It is because I'm different.
Oh, did they give you that personality upgrade?
I do not know.
Okay, now this really is awkward silence.
Is it?
Yes. I'm
trying to make small
Listen
talk.
over here.
So, while that's happening, so it sounds like Sparky, you've probably made it to the transport, and I saw on our Zoom chat you're saying something about
30 minutes is really quick.
Sparky. Yeah.
I replies back, "No, staying."
I don't know how to fly a ship. Fuck.
Stalling.
Okay. So, to let you know, it's most certainly going to be more than 30 minutes for the consortium to get here. It's a corporation, so it's probably like minimum, if they went really fast, 3 days. If not 30
Well,
I
days.
can't make that
business
much.
days for your money
I can't
back.
make that much small talk, guys.
Yeah.
Guy
I don't know. You don't need to sleep.
Guy is basically getting behind the miners' lines and basically grabbing what he can and trying to MacGyver something that's going to scare the
Okay.
fuck out of these assholes.
Okay. I'm gonna message back to Guy. I'm gonna be like, "You're dumb. You're strong, but you're not that strong."
Guy,
What are you gonna
check
do?
Facts. This is your fault. Come help.
It's not my fault. I didn't do this. Another captain. Okay, Sparky will start jogging back against their better judgment.
Okay. The lead guy is like, you guys really need to go. Things are about to get unpleasant, and I understand you don't work here, so... I was told you have 30 minutes. Clearly, you look ready to leave, so... What's the holdup, guys?
My crew is being ridiculous.
Oh, sorry, this is the guy in charge on the ground.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
My statement
So
stands.
he's talking to... Yeah.
My small
Valid.
talk is not working.
But
Oh goodness.
yeah, he's talking to Sparky.
Oh, yeah, okay. What? I just forgot. Sometimes when you leave a room and you forget something, you have to go back for it. So that's what I'm doing. I gotta grab something. I left something here. Cut 2 things actually. There's right over there.
All right,
One
well,
sec.
make it quick. We're kind of on a
2
timetable here.
seconds. Can I raise you to
Yeah.
3? I can raise you to 3.
I'll give you 3 minutes.
So I'll book it over to Guy and Annie. Be like, what the fuck are you doing? There's armed guards right there.
Guy looks to and is like, if we leave, they will be killed and no one will bother to ask why.
If we don't leave, they'll kill all of us and no one will ask why. What are you gonna do?
Something.
Just, okay, but here's a crazy thought, right? And I'm gonna look at if Sonya's still here.
Did you go all the way back to the break room?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, where I went to
Okay.
find these 2, so if that's kind of where they are.
Oh, Annie was still out in the warehouse with the
Okay.
guards. So if
Okay,
you want to
so-
grab her along with you, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll beckon to Annie and Guy and just be like, come the fuck with me.
Guy's already headed back towards the break room because he's basically gonna like grab some paper and explain that if I can fix things, I am going to try and stay here until Tony gets here.
So yeah, I'll try to find Sonya.
Okay. If you go to the break room, you can see probably from that vantage point that she's frantically running around, handing out guns and
Like overturning tables.
kind of
and
poorly. Yeah, getting ready for a fight and kind of poorly organizing and leading.
stuff. Okay.
Like she's a great foreman, not a great tactical
Right,
leader.
right. So
Um,
if I see Sonya, I'll kind of like run up to her and just like wave her aside for a second.
she'll very briefly run up to you and go, "Yeah, what is it? We're kind of busy. We've got to get
You're
ready."
going to die if you try to fight them.
This is
How far do the mines go?
Getting to a defensible position is very advised.
miles deep underground.
Do they come out anywhere else?
Probably. I mean, they stretch out for miles.
Do you think that's a better idea than staying in a break room and getting shot to death?
Probably right.
So I tell you what,
And then she.
we're gonna
right.
run distraction. And I'll look over at Guy and Annie and like, get everyone in the mines and start finding a way out.
Okay. What about the consortium or whatever?
They'll find you. That's what they do. That's what companies always do. They find people. Just make sure it's the Tony Consortium and not these assholes.
Right. Tony assholes, not Visco assholes.
Different assholes.
Okay. I can do this.
You got this.
I can do this.
Sonia, I believe in you.
Does Sparky actually believe in
No,
Sonya?
not at all.
Roll charm. Excuse me.
That is actually my highest stat.
Please set trap.
Oof. Can I toss that boon in real quick?
Yeah. I'm gonna say yes. You start to say something like a canned line that you've said, you know, hundreds of times before, but you just have like this sudden spark of inspiration, and you go like, you know, and it probably goes something along the lines of like, I was gonna tell you, just some line, but, and then you go into your actual inspirational speech.
And it's total muscle memory. Like I don't even. Yeah.
It's just, it's brilliant. If you had to do it again, you probably couldn't.
Okay.
It's just like sudden inspiration, creativity, and it just comes pouring out of your mouth. And then
are we talking like Independence Day president speech level?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, that kind of a thing.
Goddamn, if that's not the most inspirational speech.
Definitely. That's up there.
Yeah,
That's goosebumps.
Although with Sparky, I imagine it being more like Mal in the Battle of
agree with that,
Serenity.
There you go.
Yeah.
So same level of inspiration, but a little different tone
Okay.
to it.
Quick question.
So yeah,
Can Guy get a idea of the shaft they're heading down so he can close it behind them?
it's a decent ways into the facility. It would take you a significant detour to go with them and do that, and then come back.
Are there weapons on the?
You can do it.
Are there weapons on our shuttle ship?
No, the shuttle is unarmed currently.
I would suggest.
That's something you could potentially upgrade,
I would suggest.
but not today, obviously.
Like trip lines and explosives set to those trip lines.
The problem is that those take quite a while to set up, and we only have 3 minutes.
Hey, got a raid.
Thank you. Just in time to watch
Dixon
us
for that
raid.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Welcome in. How was your stream? Thanks so much. So our crew here in this game, the cast characters have lost all of their memories of their identity, and they're trying to figure out who on Earth they are, or in the galaxy they are. And currently, they've managed to get themselves into the middle of a conflict between this big corrupt corporation and their underpaid, horrible working condition miners on this mining planet. So half the crew is on the planet trying to stall for the miners, and we're trying to figure out what they're doing here. So Guy, yes, it would be a significant detour to go close that behind them, but you can do it. It's just, it would probably take up most of your 30 minutes before, they come in guns blazing.
You know what? Fuck it, I'm doing it.
Okay. Saved a dwarf prisoner from being next on the menu. Oh, that's
Nice.
great.
Yeah. Oh, don't call me the party leader.
Say I'm kamikaze
I am
bombers.
so not the party
That's
leader.
amazing. Okay. So Sonya gathers everybody up. You've got people running around with just armfuls of guns, holding them horribly unsafely, because they don't know how to really use them. Yeah. But they're running with these things. Thankfully, none of them go off. There's no accidental misfires or anything. you're able to get them to the entrance to the main entrance to one of the mine shafts, and they go down. Is Sparky and Annie following along, or what are the two of you doing?
I'm looking for other exits.
There are some. There's long, sort of convoluted routes going through the offices and things like that. There are other sort of loading doors, but most of them are within sight of the Vizco shuttle. But yeah, there are other exits if you wanted to leave, but then you'd still have to get back to your transport, which is right next to theirs.
Problems. Annie, any ideas?
No, Annie's just she's just chilling, keeping watch on those line of guards that are at the head of the warehouse, just in case.
Okay.
She
That's a
has
good
nothing
idea.
to offer you.
Oh, good. Thanks, second captain. I'm gonna actually message up to the ship. I'll message Android and see what the situation is up there, if any. Because I am completely in the dark. So I'll just call up. I won't even text. Like, Android, Captain Android.
Yes.
What's the situation orbit side?
I'm assuming I have the other guy on mute right now.
Yeah, I assumed you probably hung up, but if you want to just have him on mute,
He's
that's
on
okay.
mute.
He's just divulging his whole life story.
Android said, "Tell me about
Just like
your
unmute every so often and be like,
coworkers."
Coworkers.
And so he's venting about his
Oh my
coworkers.
god.
I'm starting to wonder if Jacques installed like a psychiatry module or something.
Getting like readouts on stress levels.
You never know.
Sorry, what was the question?
What's the situation up top? What are we looking at?
They are waiting. I'm trying to make small talk with this man. He has
And
problems.
doing a wonderful job.
Okay, I don't know who this man is. What about all the armed soldiers and the transport and all that? The guns?
I have been told that you have 30 minutes. What are
Hello?
you doing?
How long ago was that?
How long ago was that, Raven?
All in all, you've probably spent about 10 minutes. Guy's probably almost to the mine
Okay.
shaft at this point.
Okay, about 20 minutes is left to your...
Okay, we're getting the miners somewhere safe. And I'm miming this at a wall as I'm talking, as though we have video.
Just audio.
they forget halfway. We're getting them safe, but I don't want to tell you where they are in case we're being monitored. But we're trying to make sure that they can get away because they wanted to stand and fight. Also, Guy is doing something to fix it. I don't know. And he's just kind of watching them. Help.
I told you to come back to the ship. If you're going to elect me as captain, why are you disobeying me?
Are you accusing me of mutiny?
I am unclear on if you wish me to be captain and then simply disregard me. Were you simply looking for somebody to make difficult decisions for you?
I mean, yeah, but also you raise a valid point that we will discuss when we're safely back on the ship.
Which is what I asked you to do.
I tried. I can't fly a ship. Tell you what, I'm going to patch Guy in, and I'll patch Guy into the comms, however that works with text.
Okay.
And I will give him the
I
rundown.
just replies busy.
He's
And hangs up.
busy. He's busy.
Busy with what?
I don't know. Okay. He's doing something to save the miners. We need a distraction so that we can actually get out. Doesn't have to be right now, but probably in the next 18 minutes would be ideal.
Hmm.
A distraction.
Mm-hmm. You're a brilliant
Shall I
captain. I'm
create-
sure you
Shall
could do-
I create a crater in the planet?
Maybe. Maybe we can come
Can
up
Annie
to.
hear the conversation from where she is?
Yes, I think Annie would be able to hear this
Yeah.
conversation on the comms.
Okay, she leaves her little watch post and she comes over closer to Sparky, and she's like, "You do realize that we don't need a distraction for us to go, right?
We might.
Like
if
once
it
the
takes
miners are
long.
in there." Well, I would say probably, if I were to give my best guess, that as long as we're not in the way of their bullets, then they won't worry about us. We just need to go.
Okay, I'm good to go. You're good to go. Can either of us fly that shuttle?
No, but what I'm saying is if we don't make it out by the 30-minute mark, obviously we need to wait for Seattle to come back. But
Right?
once we're all together, like if we just take a side door and stay out of their way, I'm sure we can make it back to the shuttle just fine.
I'm just worried that they might want to mop up a mess. Also, there's a lot of them.
I just don't think there's really a reason to go making more of a mess on our part than we really need to at the moment.
Okay, maybe then go find out how long Guy's gonna take, because he won't reply to me.
Annie just like she curses in another language and then she leaves.
Okay.
What would you
Okay.
like me to roll to set up this collapsing the tunnel after them?
Mechanical engineering.
Oh, natural 20.
Nice.
Sorry, pardon my language.
You're totally fine. So with a nat 20, that's going to make that essentially a 38, which is really good. So with a 38, yeah, you rig this whole thing to just completely collapse once they're safely past that point. And all the miners are just piling into this mine shaft. And you feel like you can leave now. Like they're still getting into the shaft, but assuming none of them does something really, really stupid, which they probably won't, they'll be fine. You've got about 10 minutes left by the time all of that is said and done, and Annie comes walking up.
Great. Grabs Annie and points back towards the ship.
Oh, good. Yes.
We're
okay.
leaving.
Let's go. Yes.
We're leaving.
Annie turns and just
Okay.
boots it out of there.
Nice.
You
So
might
yeah,
be okay. This man is still speaking.
so if I,
Yeah, he's still going on. He's telling me about his relationship that ended badly,
Oh,
2 years ago, and how he's still not over it, and how he really is hoping he can meet somebody on this vacation. And
Sweet Jesus.
oh god.
you can just tell this poor guy has been so overworked and just has a horrible life.
You found the loneliest captain possible.
Android's gonna keep
Yeah.
her face completely stoic and realizing how little she cares.
All that information's going right into the ROM. Just gonna buffer that out.
Right?
Yeah, if I see these two running, I'm gonna start running with them, because clearly that's a sign.
Yes. You manage to make it back to the main doors. Just as you hear like a watch alarm going off on the head soldier guy's wrist.
And
You're just past them as it goes off.
guy just like thumbs up or something sort of thing.
Told you I had to find someone down the road. Bye-bye.
He just sort of holds up his arm and points to his wrist and goes, Just in time. Get the hell out of here. We got stuff to do.
Yeah, I bet you do. You're gonna do great.
As Annie goes past them, she like blows kisses to the soldiers.
We're the worst fucking crew.
Oh my god.
Your captain agrees.
Would you like to roll charm for that, or you absolutely don't have to? I'm just curious.
For what?
For the kiss blowing.
Oh yeah, no, she.
To
Oh
see
my
if it's
God,
effective
please
or not. Sorry, what was that?
I said she's blowing kisses as she's running. Like she's not even stopping. She's just blowing kisses and going.
Okay. Okay. In that case, they seem unaffected, but it is quite amusing to watch for anybody else that would have been there. But yeah, they file in and go into the building, looking very much so like they're getting ready to clear the building rather than talk to the people in the building. Go ahead and roll. Everybody roll nimbleness.
Oh no.
Great.
To book it back to the ship.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Oh no.
A 6.
Okay, I was looking at my
18.
previous roll. Oh, thank God.
Does a 21 allow me to grab Little Mouse as she falls?
I'm going to say it doesn't allow you to succeed at it just instantly. But I'll say you're moving fast enough that you've got enough spare time to be situationally aware, and you see that Annie has twisted their ankle or something. They're running. She's running really slow. She's struggling.
There's all those kisses you kind
If
of
you want
like.
to roll, yeah.
Can I scoop her up and front of her?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can roll might to see if you can quickly
Can I
grab
aid in that?
Annie and help her along.
Okay.
Sure. You got high enough as well.
18.
You can help out. Let's go ahead and roll might as well.
14.
I'm gonna say that's good enough to bump that up to a 20. So here's what happens. All three of you are running. Annie, twists her ankle or something, so she's moving slow. Both of you notice it, and you're able to just sort of like do a 360. And both of you come up on either side of her and sort of do the, like two adults do with
Like,
a
up
child,
you go.
where they just,
Yeah.
just like they both take one arm and just lift up
All I
and keep running.
All I can picture is poor little Sparky
Yeah.
using her like 3-inch boots.
At
This
least
lady
Guy
is
is like
foot tall.
almost the same height as her.
I'm teeny.
6 foot tall lady.
Yeah.
It's just
5'8" and the 5'3".
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
so
So
dumb.
yeah.
Loves helping the giant.
Yep. So Annie, you've got an arm underneath both of your arms, and you're just sort of being lifted up by your armpits, essentially, as Sparky and Seattle are running. And you make it back to the shuttle, and right before you close the door, you hear a big explosion from inside the building. And Guy, that's your cue that your handiwork has gone off.
Which means that's my cue to get in the fucking pilot seat.
Yep. Go ahead and roll tech engineering to pilot this ship as fast as you possibly can. 12. You flipped a couple of switches out of order in your haste, and you just sort of hear the engine go. And it doesn't quite start up.
Guy kicks it and tries again.
26. You hear some shouting coming from the warehouse, as it sounds like the soldiers are coming back. But fortunately, you've corrected your mistake, and you're able to
Ooh,
shoot off like a literal rocket in
can
the transport.
I aim so maybe half of the soldiers who are coming out, they get hit with the half end of
exhaust.
the engines?
No, they're not close enough. It's a good idea though. But yeah, you make it up to the ship, no problem. And right about the time that you dock, Android and Jacques, you both can see that there's an incoming call from the Vizco ship Sally Forth.
Mm-hmm.
And you can probably guess what that call's about.
Yes.
What did your crew do? There was an explosion, and they just bolted off as my men were trying to talk to them. Explain yourself.
I do not know. They are not a very good crew and do not listen to their captain.
Oh my god. Okay, I can understand that. Look, I really want to believe that you had nothing to do with what just happened. So, just can you explain what they just said? Basically, I'm giving you a chance here to roll speech or charm to get him to just look the other way. Because you listened to all of his problems, he's very inclined to just go with it.
I know, right? Let's see here.
But you do still have to roll.
13?
Would you like to use another die?
Yes.
6s.
What do I have at my disposal?
You have 1d4 and 2d6 available.
I'll take a d6.
Okay.
Let me...
Sorry.
You need a 2 to succeed at this point.
Oh god, okay. Way to put that in the universe rating.
Yeah.
6!
Hey, there you go.
Yay.
It's a 19. So yeah, the guy, they're just like,
I would like a vacation
know
as
what,
well.
Okay. He's like, I wish androids got vacations, because you're a very nice android. You're very, very different, and I appreciate you listening. So, I'm just gonna put in my report that was all the miners. Your crew had nothing to do with this, and you're gonna want to get the hell out of here.
Confirmed. We will be getting the hell out of here.
Okay.
Have fun on your trip.
And he ends the trans. Okay. He does get that much, and he says thank you and ends the transmission. Basically, where you're at this point, Vizco thinks that you made a separate deal with Tony Consortium, but it was just to deliver guns. Thanks to this captain now, who's going to say that you didn't have anything to do with thwarting them, that it was all the miners. All you did was deliver guns. So, good news is you're not totally in hot water with Vizco. If you do anything at all to piss them off, they're probably going to put you on the let's go kill them list. But you managed to stay off of that list for now. And I take it you book it away.
Do I need to roll anything to get the ship the fuck out of there?
Yes, you do.
Well,
Is it tech engineering?
Yes, tech engineering.
It's thinking about it.
He was doing this to us earlier today too.
Oh my god. My cat licked my toes. I got a nat 1. Oh no. River, what did you do?
use that reroll.
Please use that
River,
reroll.
what did you
Please use
do?
that
I'll use a reroll.
Oh my god.
Do I have a reroll?
Please don't blow the shit.
You do.
Okay, can
Yeah,
I
thanks to Jacques.
Oh my god. I'm using a reroll. Holy shit.
alive today.
I know, right?
Balance in the universe.
Oh, goodness.
Balance in the universe.
Yes.
For real.
Ah, yes.
So that's a 35. Yeah, you managed to jump to FTL just like immediately. And you do so in a very fuel efficient
Good
way.
luck, bitches. We're headed out.
We outie. Holy shit.
So,
Candroid kicked it.
Welcome.
so you make it away from Echo 2, I think was the planet's name.
That's right.
You've managed to mostly salvage the situation. You gave the miners a fighting chance, so that's a positive. And you managed to surprisingly not completely alienate Tolan. So, good job for a crew that didn't have their
No
memory.
kidding.
And Jacques did next to nothing.
You had some good input with the captain on the other
You
ship.
also had good ideas in terms of what we should be doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone definitely pulled weight on that. That was
Also, oh god, Guy like having the change of heart of, fuck, if we leave them now, like this, they will. Nobody's gonna fucking know.
we totally swapped positions from last session.
Yep.
Like 100%.
Yep.
Also, I feel like I'm getting thrown in the brig when we get back in the ship.
You will get
To
a
be fair,
stern,
I was the
non-emotional
one who
talking
disobeyed
to.
orders.
Oh, that's worse. I'd rather take the brig.
You're all
Yeah.
getting a stern, non-emotional talking to.
Oh, no.
Jacques clearly installed a psychological module in this android. Is very impressed by his work.
Oh my goodness.
Because I'm not
Um,
mad. I'm just disappointed.
Oh,
Oh no.
you're
Ow.
definitely the
Yes.
captain now.
Oof.
God.
Shock, you're evil.
Oh. Oof.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, Captain.
okay,
I had to
so-
do it. I had emotions.
It was all Guy's fault.
It was.
Those emotions.
Question
Fix
for
them.
Yeah.
everyone.
Mhm.
Before we do wrap up, where is it that you want to head to? And it doesn't have to be like a specific location, but like what's your next goal?
Get rid of these guns.
Yeah,
Here.
sell the gun.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, Android, I'm going to say that you know of a location in the ship's databases, a space station where that type of thing could be moved discreetly.
Okay.
And I will have you all heading there. And I think that's probably a good place to end the session. Well done, everyone. Quick reminder: what level did I have you all start at?
One.
I believe, yeah.
3? Level 1? Okay. If you're at level 1, then go to level 3.
Dope.
3?
3. So you'll gain 2 levels for that, and that kind of covers our 0.5 session and then the session today. Because you all did a lot of really important stuff. So yeah, level 3. And next week we'll find out what happens at the space station and what more information you find out. Before we go on a raid, though, let's talk about our favorite parts and everything. So we're gonna go opposite order of what we started with. So we'll start with Lisa. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you next, or anything else that you'd like to share?
Really, Cat? Really? My favorite part. Probably, well, I mean, obviously the fact that she tried to make small talk
And
With-
succeeded.
and basically succeeded because apparently someone really needed to talk about his feelings.
Yes.
Even though my speech is literally at 2.
It's amazing.
I have no empathy. Like on that sheet, there's no empathy.
You do know.
That's so great.
Yeah, I guess. But also, I liked that the android realized that when the crew was openly disobeying her, that she was like, you didn't want me as a captain, you wanted someone to make hard decisions for you. And she doesn't like that. So
Yeah.
Jacques does not like that either.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty garbage.
We are pretty
Have
garbage
you-
humans.
Have you never been pet
Yeah.
cat in all these
I
years?
mean, as we established, this crew was definitely, at least used to be, the baddies.
Yeah.
Now we're
But-
trying to be good.
But yeah, so I will be here next week, and I don't really have anything else to share.
Okay. In that case, next we've got Jacques. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else that you'd like to share?
My favorite part was definitely getting the miners to the mine shaft and then blowing it up afterwards.
That was pretty great.
And yes, I am very fascinated by the chemistry we have.
That's a word for it. Oh my
just yes.
It's definitely pretty great.
You can find me next on this game. You can find Susie next on the Monday game in the afternoon.
Perfect. Next we've got. Let's hop up to Alex next. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else you'd like to share?
Ah, fuck. Tell me about your vacation. So coming back, I'm just like, let me stall. I'm not lying. Tell me
Yeah,
about
it's
your
fine.
vacation.
It's fine.
This is fine. My crew is idiots.
Especially after I hung up on him in the first place. I was just like, okay,
Yep.
bye.
Tell me about your vacation. Sorry, that. Oh my god, I'm absolutely loving Android. And after playing an AI character who did for a while have the whole has to tell the truth, there are ways to. Oh look, I'm just gonna tell you information.
If this information is valid,
Yeah.
is up to me.
Yep.
Next
That's
week we'll be
great.
here on Tuesday in the evenings with Jay for Water and Raven, and watch as Raven tries to kill us again.
Or we kill ourselves.
Oh, that too.
Yep. I love Ectoralax's comment here. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. That cuts so deep from an android. Fantastic. Next, we've got Vanessa. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else that you'd like to share?
I don't know. I can't pick a favorite part. I've been having so much fun. I know we're only like the second session in, but just everybody together has just a really cool dynamic, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm gonna say that everybody was my favorite part.
Aww.
You guys are really great, so I'm having a lot of fun. Other than that, you can find me here next week for Tikva on Wednesday. And other than that, I will pop my my art Twitter and my Ko-fi page or coffee page in the chat there, so you can have a look at those. And if you want me to maybe draw your character or something like that, then we can figure that out.
They're really
It's
good.
well worth it. She does amazing.
They're really good.
character sketch work.
Thank you.
I know I'm
Agreed.
looking forward
Can
to the
confirm.
final portrait.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm doing a little bit of a
Mm.
catch up. The last few weeks have been pretty tough, so.
It's been insane for
Yeah.
everybody, and like honestly, as long as I get it within a year, I'm fine.
Right?
Oh, you'll
Yeah.
definitely have it soon, I promise.
I was going to say, these last few weeks have certainly been a long couple of years.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
it's-
This month has been a hell of a year.
yeah. And next, last but not least, we've got Jay. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else that you'd like to share?
Honestly, I think I'm with I'm with Goody. It's got to be when Candroid realized, like, you just wanted someone to make all the hard decisions. That, like, I actually got stunned for a good second, like, oh, like that was a deep ass cut, and that was a really cool
Yeah.
moment to see because you called everyone else out on it. It was just
Yeah.
beautifully done. Like, I think that was just the right moment for that kind of thing, and I thought that was amazing. As well, I just think everyone did a fantastic freaking job, and this crew is ridiculous. We definitely should have died by now. Like the things that we've gotten out of those 520s.
I would like to
that
point
was
out that I am
donk.
blameless.
So far.
So, I was gonna say so
Yeah,
far.
so far.
That we know of, somebody erased our memories.
Mm-hmm. And the password for that door. But otherwise, where you can find me next is Tuesday with Alex and Raven. And that is for water. And then you can find me next Saturday here, as well as at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for Void Cavalcade, which is my Stars Without Number game.
It's fantastic. Definitely come check it out. Fantastic. My favorite part, gosh, it's hard to pick a favorite part. That whole episode was great. I did really enjoy that. Oh, you just wanted somebody to make the hard decisions moment, because that was internally I was just like, damn. That was
middle court.
Yeah, that was pretty great. I also really enjoyed Annie's interactions with Tolan.
Yeah.
You mean butt face?
Yes.
Yes, buttface. And playing Tolan was a lot of fun for me. He's a fun little high-strung
They're the best characters.
go-between.
Steve,
Vacation
Steve,
too.
He does.
I know that Annie
He
was
does.
probably a more serious character before she lost her memories, but all I'm getting when I play her is like Harley Quinn vibes in my brain. I can't
totally.
stop. I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, Annie's just gonna blow some kisses. Why not?
Might as well. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think those are my favorite parts. As for where you can find me next, I will be producing Fleshmaker's Folly Monday afternoon, 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 7 p. Words are hard. 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Over here, same channel. And then Monday evening, so 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we'll be doing another D&D game. We're still finalizing the voting on the name, but it's going to be something spooky in the Forgotten Realms, and it's going to be DM'd by Insanity TTRPG, who is fantastic. He's on a couple other shows here as well. So definitely check that out. And yeah, I think that's about all I have to share. So we're going to go raid. We've got our raid cry, which is tell me about your vacation. And we're going to go raid Euphoria. So Euphy is a variety streamer. She's a lot of fun to watch, playing different games, and just has a great community over there. So if you like video games and funny people, definitely give her a follow. And then I will see you all on Monday. Bye.